It's the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation for Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing, live on RaceSpotTV. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Brett Wheeler. Joining me for tonight and Tuesday night's coverage here on RaceSpotTV is Wes Gwaltney, and a wonderful producer bringing you all the sights and sounds over the next couple of nights of racing. Wes, it's good to have you here in the booth over the next couple of nights and coming into your first VLR broadcast. How are you feeling?
Feeling good about this. You know, this is a very interesting racetrack, and they've already rolled it in a little bit. I'm interested to see this is the biggest mix of the best drivers on iRacing, so we'll see how it plays out. You got some big names mixed in here. You got some newcomers that have shown a lot of speed as of late, especially in the latest VLR UMP series. So I'm interested to see how these super late models play out. It's a really cool event, the first fall frenzy, and going to be a great race.
Certainly is. And what are two nights we are set for tonight on the program? Two preliminary servers, and of course come Tuesday night is going to be the night that everybody wants to win, because that is where the big payday is. That's where the big payday is going to happen. Of course, server one is what we're about to see, and of course we'll have server number two later on after we are done with this first prelim server. But right now we're getting ready to lock in 12 drivers from both server one, server two, to lock into the 24 car field on Tuesday night, and they'll find themselves getting ready to battle out for that elusive $4,000 payday. Tonight, server number one, we've got 58 drivers signing into the pit area here. And again, a big thank you to, of course, Majulisi Speed Shop for being the server number one sponsor. But again, there's a whole lot of list of names and sponsors that have helped chipped into to make this 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation for Frenzy happen here on RaceSpotTV. And whereas we go through this field, I mean, we can just go through and we can name off the countless pro drivers, the countless wins that we see, not only in this one, but going into the next server. It's going to be hard to pick a winner here tonight. Not only tonight, server number two, but come Tuesday night, that's a whole different ball game.
It absolutely is. I mean, you start putting those names together, it shows how crucial qualifying is going to be as well, because you've got this caliber of driver. It's hard to just, if you qualify bad, you got to be in the back of a heat race. You've only got 10 laps to get to one of the transfer spots, and there are going to be some loaded heat races, each and every one of them. As you mentioned, lots of pro name drivers in there. Blake Majulis will be here in server number one, so we'll keep an eye on him. And of course, everybody's going to be chasing Evan C., who's had a fantastic year already. Just won, of course, the Butt Kicker Pro Series not long ago, and then he topped that with the Spring Fling back in June. As a very solid field here, but at 33 is going to be one to watch. I believe he'll be in server number two tonight.
Well, we're not too far away from kicking off server number one. Again, we'll just go through the quick format and the formalities of how tonight is going to run. Of course, we're getting ready to go qualifying here in a few moments' time. Then we're going to see 5 heat races on the program. Those heat races, there will be 10 laps in distance. Top 4 will transfer to what we're going to call the prelim main event. So we'll lock in 20 cars from the heat. Then we are going to see 3 B mains. They are going to be 10 laps in distance as well, and we'll lock in the top 2 from those B mains into the prelim server. So a field of 26 drivers getting set to lock into tonight's 40-lap prelim main event. And again, that main event right there is going to be the one to watch, because the top 12 will go into Tuesday night's main event. They will automatically lock in. They won't have to do any racing up until when it is go time in the server for the main event. The bottom half of the field will go into what we'll call the last chance qualifier, and that's how we're going to get our field set for the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation for Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank. I'm really excited to see what the drivers can do here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Again, we're just waiting on race control to give us the signal to go qualifying. But who do you think in server number one, if we can go through and look at the names of the list of drivers? You've got Blake Majulis in here. I mean, Bryce Dickinson, I've seen him come up through the modified ranks as well. He's been very quick. Casey Brunson's always going to be fast. You've got the likes of Chase Hardy's in there as well. I mean, Colton Zimmer. There's not any one particular driver that you can really set your eyes on, but in this field here tonight, you've got a bunch of pro drivers. You've got guys that won world championships. Just spoke about Blake Majulis. I talk about the likes of James Edens. He's been in every pro series, whether it's sprint cars, the USAC non-wings, and the late models. He's a driver that has been there from the very outset of the World Championships, and even in these VLR big money races, whether it's a Spring Fling, whether it's the Birthday Bash, no matter what it is, when you see the 52 car of James Edens load into the server, you know he's going to be one to watch.
Absolutely. Eden's is always fast every time he loads in any server. I'm keeping an eye on Craig Swartz as well. He's fast in about any race car. Not turned a whole bunch of laps in the super late model compared to, he likes to run kind of a whole different variety of things. He'll be very quick. And Trey Mills, who's coming off the Rookie of the Year with the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series and super late model as well, his first full year in a super late model. Watch out for him. He was pretty quick. I was watching him a little bit in practice as they did some track prep. So keep an eye on the future Trey Mills. The youngster is very fast on iRacing and in real life. And, you know, you got a loaded field here. You got Keith Hackney and Jamie Massey from the same team there, that they're going to be ones to watch as well. Keith Hackney had a couple tough races during that UMP series, but he's pretty fast in a late model. That's where he seems to excel.
Well, again, we are getting ready to roll into qualifying here. Again, server number 1 presented by Majula C Speed Shop, and we're about to go qualifying here tonight live from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. Again, big thank you to, of course, Speed Ranch E-Setups for their support with the session, with the servers, I should say. But it is now go time. It's about time we go qualifying to find out who is going to go quick time here tonight in the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing.com. Groups 1, Groups 2 later on tonight. Group 1 is what we're about to see. We can already see star cars already on the racetrack in the 14 machine. That is Trey Mills. We see and we wait for those times to start to come through. Which one of these drivers? Ethan Bill in the 14 machine, waiting for his first lap time to come through. It's all just a waiting game for the moment. Barrett Bishop with a 15.322. Matt Selby with a 15.321. He goes quick time. Chance Carr with a 15.202. He goes to the top of the speed charts. Kendall Tucker goes second quick now. James Eden's quick time with a 15.111. As we've got the first 60 seconds done in qualifying. And the man to beat is the 52 car. I spoke about him earlier on. Is James Eden's Blake Majulis. Keith Hackney on screen now. Best lap time 15.692. A 15.692, and Blake Majulis goes quick time with a 15.014, making a statement here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Keith Hackney's second lap time, will it be quicker? We wait for that time to come through. Looks like it's still going to be Blake Majulis, James Edens, Trey Mills, Chase Hardy, and Desmond Busby. Drivers rounding out the top 5. Boy, we're getting ready for the final few seconds of this qualifying session. Dylan Hauser goes second quick with a 15.109. And I believe that is all of what has been 58 cars have taken a lap time. And Wes, are you surprised to see Blake Majulis, Dylan Hauser, and James Edens go 1, 2, and 3?
No, yeah, we knew those guys were going to be quick right off the get-go. Majulis, of course, will lead heat race number 1 to green, and that's so important because it kind of gets you out of that mess. As you kind of get in that field that's trying to get one of those transfer spots, you got guys going to throw Hail Mary passes, you got guys who are going to try to run the top, the middle lines that weren't exactly used a whole bunch there in qualifying. As I'm just amazed to see a 10th faster than the field was Blake Majulis with that 15.0, whereas Hauser in a 15.1. Something to just kind of keep in mind because he's going to have that clean air on the start.
All right, starting grid on screen, driving the 127 machine. It'll be Blake Majulis from the pole position to the outside of the front row, driving caliber 82. It's Desmond Busby. We go back second row inside from position number 3. It'll be the 37 car of Robbie Swan to the outside. The 80 machine of Dylan Wilson from position number 4. Matthew Selby lines up from position number 5. Keith Hackney, the 91, will line up at a position number 6. Position number 7 will be the 10 car of Casey Brunson. Evan Channel lines up at a position number 8. Jesse Main from 9. Then you go back to the outside from position number 10. Talon Willis will go from the outside of the 5th row. Ethan Bill lines up inside along with Robert Brainey from positions number 11 and 12. And that is our field for heat race number 1, thanks to the dirt track at Charlotte, Wes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's such a great group there. They're getting ready to host the World Finals here in a couple weeks, the first weekend of November, which is going to have, of course, your 3 big classes with the World Racing Group of the big block modified. You're going to have the late models and, of course, the What About Law sprint cars. So that's going to be a great weekend. This is an awesome facility, and it's represented quite well here on iRacing, and it's going to be a fantastic race. As I'm keeping my eye on Casey Brunson in this. He's got to start a little deeper back through the pack. He starts 7th. He's trying to get one of those 4 transfer spots, but he's not afraid to get in there and get a little aggressive early.
Certainly won't be. The 37 car of Robbie Swan on screen behind your pole sitter in the 127 car of Blake Majulis. Driving that Majula C Speed Shop entry. Desmond Busby to the outside of the front row. That beautifully presented pink and white D1RT car number 82. He's got his teammate behind him with Dylan Wilson. We've seen Dylan Wilson run the old Kool-Aid car previously in modified competition, but it's not modified, it's super late models on the program. Your 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing. Heat race number 1 is green, and it's no surprise to see Blake Majulis lead the field down into turn number 1 and 2. Busby, Swan going to go around in the 79 car.
Yeah, he's going to collect main in the process there, as that'll bring out the caution flag early in this one. As we saw Majulis going to be the first one to jump to the top side there. He got a little sideways, and then that Hornet's Nest right in the middle of the racetrack got all bunched up and just caused chaos in lap number 1.
Heat race number 1 coming to the yellow flag very, very quickly. Again, it's about time where, you know, the drivers just get a little bit antsy and maybe just get a little, the nerves start to set in here. Is knowing that these drivers, they are ready. They have got to do battle for what could be one of the biggest paydays of their iRacing careers. We know Blake Majulis has won big money races. We've already spoken about Evansy and what he's accomplished. But then, you throw in the likes of Alex Bergeron as well. He knows when it comes to the big races, he knows how to get it done. We'll see Alex later on this evening. But again, maybe the guys that aren't so, I guess, familiar with these big money races and the big events of the pressure, trying to lock themselves into the main event, maybe that's just caught some of these drivers out.
Yeah, it'll catch you off guard. I mean, you've got to go in there, and with these big money races, I've run a couple of them over the years, you've got to be pretty much full throttle from the get-go. You've got to take every advantage you can, try to shoot every gap that you can. You can't really hang back any because they will take advantage of it. Tough luck there for Swan as he got caught up in that early wreck. I'm not sure what damage is going to be done to his race car, but he's certainly going to have a tough road to hoe if he's going to get one of those transfer spots.
Certainly is. Looks like the lights are out on the iRacing.com official page truck right now. Again, Blake Majulis once again leaders to the drop of the green flag. That will, of course, complete what is the first of 10 laps around the dirt track at Charlotte. Heat race number 1 of 5, and then 3 B mains, which will also be 10 laps in distance. Top 2 from the B mains, but from the heat, it's top 4, and Blake Majulis once again. Green flag goes up, the throttle goes down. We're back underway with heat race number 1 of Majulis. Again, going to make the intentions clear and go to the top into turn number 1 and 2. Busby looking down to the inside. They race off turn number 2, and Majulis has got it.
Busby had a much better start that last time through. He'll drift right through the middle of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2, stays right there on the left rear quarter panel of Majulis with Wilson right there in third. Watching that battle for 4th. Good battle shaping up there with Brunson on the bottom.
Watching as Brunson goes to the low side down into turn number 3 and 4, trying to battle with the 91 car of Keith Hackney, as Hackney has got 4th at the start-finish line. Hackney's got the 4th of model transfer spot battle starting to prove for the race lead once again with Busby trying to make his way to the race lead, but watching Brunson on screen right now. Now there is Busby again, closes in as there is Dylan Wilson. Keith Hackney running 3rd and 4th. Busby goes down to the inside into turn number 1 and 2 one more time. Can he get the run off turn number 2 and down the back straight? Oh no, Majulis has got it into turn number 3.
They're about the same over in 3 and 4. Busby's able to get a little bit of run off the bottom in 1 and 2, whereas Majulis is carrying the momentum. Battle for the 3rd spot now starting to shape up. Hackney has gotten clear of Brunson in the battle for 4th as he takes a peek at the inside of Wilson. He's going to try to run the same line as Busby. Busby really good on the bottom of 1 and 2. He's just got to figure out a way to catch that 127 in 3 and 4.
Wilson, Hackney, they were side by side in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. We complete what is lap number 6. 4 laps left to run here in the opening heat race of the night. The 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing, live from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. It is still Dylan Wilson to hold on to position number 3. Hackney still rides in the 4th spot, couple of car lengths back to the 5th place runner right there of Casey Brunson. He would be the first car on the outside, looking in and looking to start on pole of one of the B mains later on tonight. Just a couple of laps left to run here for Blake Majulis.
Yeah, Blake Majulis still leading the way in this one. Busby still going to stick right to his guns right around the Uke tires in turns 1 and 2, as he'll stay about 3-4 car lengths back from the 127. He drifts up a little bit through the slick on that because that's going to cost him a little bit. That battle for 3rd that we've seen between Wilson and Hackney has actually allowed Brunson to close back in. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. Does Brunson have something here in the last lap to possibly get to one of those transfer spots?
Well, time running out, but not running out for the 127. He will get the win here in heat race number 1, presented by the dirt track at Charlotte. Blake Majulis gets the win from Desmond Busby, home in second spot. Third at the line is going to go to Dylan Wilson, followed by Keith Hackney, getting that fourth and final transfer spot. Those 4 drivers will lock into tonight's prelim main event. Casey Brunson, Talon Willis, Evan Channel, Ethan Bill, Jesse Main, Robert Rainey. That's your top 10 for heat race number 1. Fifth on back will go through to, along with Robbie Swan, Matt Selby. Fifth on back through to 12th will go to one of 3 B mains as we get ready. Words for heat race number 2.
Yes, we had the dirt track at Charlotte. Heat race number 2 to be Dylan Hauser out of Florida leading the way from the pole position with Chance Carr to his outside in row number 1. Watch out for Justin Norwood inside row number 2 with Babe Rube in the 099 to his outside. Barrett Bishop very quick in the super late model, not the qualifying run he was looking for. He'll start outside of a transfer spot inside row 3. Levi Stagman to his outside. We had to row number 4 on the inside from Next Level Racing. The 21 of Charles Barnes will try to follow Keith Hackney into the big show. He's going to have some work to do with Ian Logan to his outside. Row number 5 on the inside, that'll be Thomas Goick in the 000 machine, with Chad Combs coming from outside of row number 5. Colton Simmer and Ray Ramey will round out the field in row number 6. So the field breaks away after gridding, and going to get our next 4 transfers from this one. A very interesting heat race number 1. As a little mover and shaker, as most of your guys that transferred. Deepest back was Keith Hackney. He started 6th, grabbed the 4th and final transfer spot. Wilson started 4th, finished 3rd. Busby was 2nd. From that 2nd spot, and Majulis was your winner. So far, the pole sitters are batting 1,000. We'll see if that continues here in heat race number 2.
Well, you think that House has got a very good opportunity, very good chance at that one happening, but he's got the likes of Chance Carr, Justin Norwood as well. Keep an eye on Barrett Bishop as well in that number 3 car inside that 3rd row. Charles Barnes, you mentioned him earlier on in the program as well. Colton Zimmer, well, I guess in Colton's eyes would be a little disappointed to be sitting in position number 11, which means his qualifying time was not that good. It was somewhere down near the bottom of the barrel when it comes to qualifying. But where's heat race number 2, presented by the dirt track at Charlotte, here live from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte in the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy.
They're going to lead us to green out of turn number 4. Chance Carr to his outside. Heat race number 2. We're taking 4. 10 laps the distance. Good start for Norwood. He'll take a peek at the inside of Carr into turn number 1. Hauser with the early break. As Norwood going to slide up the speedway, going to leave Carr a lane, and here comes the 2 car around the outside.
Chance Carr now. There's a battle on between the 2 cars. Hauser in that orange and black number 2 car. He's your race leader. Look out, Chance Carr got into the back, and the battle is on for that 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. Barrett Bishop in car number 3 from that 3rd row on the inside. He's made his way to a transfer spot. He'll get by Justin Norwood. Norwood back to position number 4, but now fights back to the outside.
We told you got to be full throttle from the get-go. Norwood had checked up there to allow Carr to go around the outside, and that's about going to cost him. So he's sitting in the 4th and final transfer spot with a hungry field behind him. Charles Barnes on the move already in the 21 machine. Grube and Stagman all marching their way up there as well. Bishop can slide right up in front of the nose of Norwood for the 3rd spot, as right now it'll be Hauser, Carr, Bishop, and Norwood your transfers with 3 in the book.
3 in the books, and speaking of the 3s, it's the Barrett Bishop in car number 3. He holds on to that 3rd spot, and then you go back to Justin Norwood, so it's single-digit numbers that are leading the field. It's 2, 2, 3, and 4. But right now, keep an eye on the 99 car. Oh, Brett Grubb. Is it Grubb or Grubb? Grube.
I'm not sure which one it is, but I know one thing. He's awful fast right now as he take a peek to the inside to the 4 machine of Justin Norwood. Oh, no, just as we say that, maybe the announcer, Jinx Barnes, gets in the back end of him, nearly spins him around. Barnes now going to step to the outside, going to be on the outside looking in, but that's a better starting spot, one of those B mains which are so crucial later.
Yeah, I'm just going to go Brett Grube right now. All Grube gets into the back of Norwood. Look out, here comes Charles Barnes in the 21C. He had 5th at the start-finish line. We'll go 3 wide down into turn number 1 and 2. Little slider there from the 21C. Parks it right on the nose of the 99 car. We're coming to 3 to go for your race leader. On board right now with Ian Logan, watching this battle for the transfer spot in front of him.
We're going to see how that goes, because Charles Barnes got into the 99 machine, and oh no, now the 99 going to lose wholesale ground. He loses 2, 3, 4 spots, sliding on back. Barnes now back from Norwood. Going to have to rally here in the last 2 laps because he's falling back by about 5 car lengths from the final transfer spot. Barnes steps to the outside though. Keep an eye on that 21 machine as he grabs the fence on the front stretch.
Barnes will slide it up right up to the concrete wall. There comes the 20 car back down to the inside. 4 wide down into turn number 3 and 4 if you don't mind. And holy dooly, how do you like that one? And we're still 3-1 as they work down the front straight away. White flag is out, 1 lap left to go for your race leader, Dylan Hauser.
Dylan Hauser been very uneventful for him as he brings it across the line to pick up the heat race win with Chance Carr second. Barrett Bishop third. Battle still rages for the final transfer spot. Barnes gets into the fence, and Justin Norwood moving on to the big show with Barnes going to be going to the B main. Zimmer, Combs, Logan, Kohig, Grube, Ramey, and Stagman round out the field.
All right, there we go. Heat race number 2 done and dusted thanks to the dirt track at Charlotte. Results on screen. Hauser, Carr, Bishop, and Norwood will get those 4 preliminary spots in tonight's prelim A main event for the likes of Barnes, Zimmer, Combs, Logan, Kohig, Grube. They will find themselves going to the last chance qualifier along with Ramey and Stagman. But we get ready for heat race number 3, presented by the dirt track at Charlotte. Once again, James Eden's a 52 machine lines up to the pole position. Brett Caudle in the 93 will start from position number 2. James Starry in the 741 will line up at a position number 3 to the outside. It's the 32 car of Christopher Joy from position number 4. Cameron Weingart, the 29, will start from position number 5 to the outside from position number 6. It's the 18 car of Cameron Kaysen. Jamie Massey will start from position number 7. Cole McCubbin lining up from position number 8. 5th row inside, probably Nathan Smith. He'll start from position number 9. And Jeremiah Johnson, the 17, lines up from position number 10. Nick King from position number 11. And Hunter Wynn will line up the 56 machine from position number 12. Cars rolling away. Where's it? You liking this one?
Well, it's hard to take not the pole sitter here. James Eden's, of course, you were talking about him a little bit earlier. He's qualified for all those pro series. He's very quick. We've seen the pole sitter win back-to-back heat races now. Brett Cornell can definitely get up there and shaking things up a little bit with Edens for the win. I'm keeping an eye on Jamie Massey, another next level racing guy. I know I've mentioned them quite a bit, but you just saw Barnes finish 5th. You saw Hackney get the 4th final transfer in heat race number 1. Massey can certainly do it. Another quick driver in the UMP series that just had a couple tough nights in there. Cameron Kaysen as well. He'll be quick. And Cameron Winnegar going to be starting on the outside looking in. Keep an eye on that 29 machine as well.
All right, so heat race number 1, we've seen the biggest mover was Talon Willis go from 10th to 6th. Heat race number 2, seen Colton Zimmer go from 11th to 6th. Can we go a little bit deeper? Can we go Hunter Wynn from 12th to 6th maybe? Only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. Another 10 laps on the board, the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank on iRacing. Group number 1, we'll have group number 2 later on, but James Eden stumps the throttle. We go racing here at heat race number 3. And no surprises, see Caudle trying to run down the 52 car of James Eden, but you're watching immediately. That battle is on for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. Caudle, Joy, along with James Starry as they work down into turn number 3 and 4. Oh boy, look out, there's some contact in the mid back. We stay clean and green on lap number 1.
A little bit like the county fair there. Little bumper cars going on for the 5th through 8th positions there momentarily. We stay green for now. Eden still leading the way with Caudell running 2nd. Christopher Joy and James Starry right now would be your 4 transfers. Here comes Cameron Case in that 10 machine. Winnegar going to be on the outside looking in. He was part of that little bunch up early on in this one. We're 2 in the books. 8 laps to go.
10 lap heat races here for group number 1, I should say. There it goes on board right now with Cameron Case back there in the 6th spot, trying to get by Cameron Winnegar in that 29, who's on the outside looking in. There's a 3-wide battle right now as we go down into turn number 1 and 2. Caudle, Joy, and Starry. They continue that 3-car breakaway for that runner-up spot, and also the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th transfer position. Starry goes to the inside of Joy. Starry had 3rd at the start-finish line, but I'll tell you what, here comes Joy. Back to the outside he goes. He said, hey, you know what, Starry? You can stay down there. I'm just going to tub you on the outside.
I don't know if anybody's telling them, but boys, you're all in a transfer spot. You don't have to race for that hard, but it all matters on where you're going to be starting in the feature event. As, of course, the winner of this one will start at 3rd. The second place finisher would start back in the 9th position. So I guess these guys just kind of going to give her all she's got. That 3-car breakaway in the battle for 2nd with Winnegar still on the outside looking in, but this is giving him a chance to start and close in as we are 6 laps in the books and 4 laps remaining.
Board Cameron Winnegar right now in the 29 car on the outside looking in, now watching James Starr in the 741 in that 4th and final transfer spot. Joy goes down to the inside into turn number 3 and 4, and Starry sweeps around the outside. James Starry move him to position number 3, relegate Christopher Joy back to that 4th and final transfer spot, but here comes Starry all over the back of Brett Caudle down into turn number 3 and 4. We'll come to 2 to run here at the start finish line with James Eden, your race leader.
Jamie Massey looking to make a late race charge here as well as he battled for that fifth spot with Winnegar. Big slider inbound from Starry right in front of Connell. Now they're going to be 3 wide down the back straightaway. Joy's got the inside line. Does he throw the double slider? Yes, sir, he does. He'll drift up the speedway, and that's going to open things up with the battle for the transfer spot. Here comes Winnegar. Here comes Massey.
White flag is out, 1 lap left to go. Starry with the double slide. This time it's on joint Cordell. They're 3 wide off turn number 2. James Eads, he's run away with this one. He's going to get the win in heat race number 2. There's all sorts of contact. Starry goes around. Oh, Starry got hit, he got tagged, and he'll lose the transfer spot, and that will move, I believe, Jamie Massey into the 4th and final transfer position. Oh boy, if you thought things were intense, I'm really interested to see how the drivers are going to react to that one. Heat number 3, James Edens gets the win over Christopher Joy in 2nd. Brett Cordell in 3rd. Jamie Massey will get the 4th and final transfer position. Cameron Winnegar, James Starry to a B main along with Cameron Kaysen, Nathan Smith, Nick King, Jeremiah Johnson rounding out your top 10. And then we go back to 11th and 12th. Hunter Wynn and Cole McCubbin will round out the field for heat race number 3. Heat race number 4 presented by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Where's you've got our starting lineup?
Yes, sir. Leading the way, it'll be the future Trey Mills on the pole. As right now, all of the pole starters have won all of the heat races so far. So we'll see if Mills can continue that trend. He'll have Keegan Brown in the 555 next to him on row number 1, but Thaddeus Marshall inside row number 2. Carson Freeman his outside. Watch out for the O2 machine of Nick Baum. He's always quick here around Charlotte. He'll start inside row number 3. Scott Fritz, the longtime driver here on iRacing, outside row number 3. Then we head back to row number 4. Hunter Gaines, Hayden Tollis will make up that row, starting 7th and 8th on the field. Bryce Dickinson, Pearson Davidson will be row number 5, and we head to our 6th and final row with Corey Kussler and Easton Hunter rounding out the field. Once again, 10 laps the distance. It's the Dirt Track at Charlotte, heat race number 4, taking the top 4, and we've had some pretty wild ones so far, as we'll have to see how that shakes out from heat race number 3. But Jamie Massey, he might be wanting to play the Powerball after this. He got lucky there and went from 6th to the final transfer spot just in the last corner.
Yeah, it just goes to show you that even though these guys are battling for positions, it's really not over until it's over. You said that, those guys didn't have to battle as hard as what they did because they were in a transfer spot. I guess in the end, it didn't really matter for James Starry, unfortunately, because he was in that 4th and final transfer spot going into turn number 3 and 4 on the final lap. And, well, we all seen what happened. And Jamie Massey, he said, might need to go play a lotto ticket after that one, but that's heat race number 3 done and dusted. Penultimate heat race for group number 1 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track back here on iRacing live on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. We thank you so very much for tuning in here tonight, as we're set for an awesome 2-night event tonight and of course Tuesday night. But where's heat number 4 getting ready to take to the green?
Trey Mills will pace the field out in front. A little bit of shakeup here. Nick Baum dropped out just before his heat race gridded, so he will not make the call. He was set to start 5th. Mills fires off. Good start as well for Thaddeus Marshall. He'll jump to the 2nd spot early in this one. Slides at the speedway. Brown can work to his outside as Trey Mills going to lead us down the backstretch.
Look at the 4-car right there of Thaddeus Marshall. Going to quickly move into the runner-up position, but it is on once again for that transfer spot. Thaddeus Marshall, Keegan Brown, along with Carson Freeman in that 3-car. Then you go back to the 48-car of Scott Fritz. He's the first car on the outside looking in heat race number 4, but still in the early goings. 2 down, 8 to run. Fritz will go to the outside, and he'll make a 3 wide on the top side of the racetrack down the front straight away. 3 wide once again down into the 1st and 2nd turn. Fritz all over the back of the 4-car of Thaddeus Marshall. Here comes Brown back to the inside. Then you go back to Freeman, and they're still 3 wide in turn number 3.
Maybe a little 2-for-1 special there. Fritz got a great run on the top of turns 3 and 4 that last time by, and this time he'll get both Brown and Freeman. He's going to move up now to the 2nd spot down the back straightaway. Big Craig out of turn number 2, though. We've got Davidson. He's collected in the mess, as well as a couple others. We'll see who else is stopped on the racetrack. So it was Bryce Dickinson, Pearson Davidson bringing out the caution flag.
Yeah, it looked like from the look of that one, as it happened, Hunter Gaines went to go for a slider. There it is, just caught the front end there of Bryce Dickinson. Take a look at the Cruise Pedregon Esports caution flag and the replay there, but Bryce Dickinson stops on the back straight away, and that will bring us under the yellow flag for the first time tonight. And well, that's his night done and dusted, as we'll have to hopefully see Hunter later on tonight, but in race control not really taking any of what is going on from the drivers. It is all just meant to be one-way communication system. Lights still on the safety car, the pace truck, I should say. So we'll send him around one more time as see the replay there on screen again. Poor old Bryce Dickinson. I was sort of praising him just before about how he's going to be, you know, a driver that I've seen, and Wes, you've actually raced against him in the series that I'm talking about. He was you know, right around that top 10, and then seen late in the season, he just sort of just shot to, I don't want to say fame, but he shot to stardom, and he showed that what he can do behind the wheel of UMP Modified. Very keen to see what he can do here in a super late model in the VLR Spartan Transportation for Frenzy tonight.
Absolutely. Bryce Dickinson's gotten much faster in the past couple months. As I've really noticed him coming on as of late, battling for some wins. I've raced a couple races with him, as you mentioned, and you know, I think he's partnered up with Next Level Racing as well. And those guys, you know, they really push each other to get faster. And Dickinson just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time there. He was starting to march his way back to the front, but this double final restart will shake things up. We got 3 laps in the book, 7 laps to go, as Mills leads us back to green in turn number 4.
Green flag is out. And it's going to be Trey Mills. Oh, look out. Thaddeus Marshall, Scott Fritz. They got tangled together there on the front straightaway, but they both kept it going. And now Thaddeus Marshall, he's on the verge of losing a transfer spot. Here comes Hayden Tolleson driving the 327 machine. He'll look to slide it up, but no, Thaddeus Marshall sweeps around the outside. 5 down and 5 to run here in heat race number 4, penultimate heat race of group number 1.
Heat race number 4 been a dandy so far. Is Freeman going to slide to that 3rd spot? Fritz may not be done. He has made his way up to the 2nd spot, and he continues to roll a little slider line in 3 and 4. Closes on the back bumper of Trey Mills for the heat race lead. We're still watching that battle there with Marshall in the 4th and final transfer spot. Hayden Tolleson, he had to work his way through the pack to get up there as well. Tolleson started back in 8th. He is currently sitting in the 5th spot, but he is stalking the 4 of Thaddeus Marshall.
Huge slider for the race lead by Scott Fritz. Trey Mills turned it back underneath him. Fritz has come from the outside of the 3rd row from position number 6. He's now going to battle for the race lead. Mills slides it up. He'll now come back down to the inside. Goes the 48 goes Scott Fritz. Mills going to turn it back underneath. They'll race side by side of turn number 4. Give Scott Fritz the race lead by 3/4 of a car length with 2 laps left to run. Trey Mills with a slider on Fritz. Fritz once again turns it back underneath him down the back straightaway. Boy, Wedge, you've got a Jim Dandy coming up for the race lead for the final lap.
Mills going to pull that slider on back. He'll fall back in behind the 48 machine of Fritz. Fritz putting on a show so far. He's been rocking around the top side, using that cushion, which really starts to work here at Charlotte, but it gets tougher to run throughout the night. Fritz will lead us down the back straightaway and through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. He'll break the streak of the pole sitters winning the heats. He'll win heat race number 4. Still watching the battle at the line. 2nd will go to Mills, 3rd to Friedman, and Thaddeus Marshall just barely squeaks through to grab the 4th and final transfer spot.
Oh, very little in it. We've seen less than a second separating your driver's finishing position in heat race number 4. But Scott Fritz will get the win over Trey Mills in 2nd, Carson Friedman 3rd. Thaddeus Marshall, as you just said, wears the 4th and final transfer spot for the likes of Hayden Tolleson. He'll be headed to a B main along with Bryce Dickinson, Pearson Davidson, Corey Kostler, Keegan Brown, Easton Hunter. That's going to be a top 10. Nick Baum in 11th and Hunter Gaines in position number 12. Heat race number 5 getting ready to take to the racetrack thanks to the Plum Wild podcast, as it's going to be Chase Hardy and Kendall Tucker in row number 1. Row 2 is going to be Jason Salter along with Nathan Waddell from positions 3 and 4. Craig Swartz will start 5. Brent Evans lines up at a position number 6. Position number 7 will be Matt Yorker, and Diesel Jones will line up at a position number 8. Waylon Vining lines up at a position number 9. Joseph Grady in the 518 will start from position number 10. And Alex Woodard in the 92 will start from position number 11, Wes.
Yeah, this is another really good heat race here. I mean, you got Hardy and Tucker on the front row. Those guys are absolutely going to go at it. Slugfest from the very who dropped the green flag. As I'm really keeping my eye on Jason Salter. He's very good in the limited modified down in Louisiana, and he's very quick in anything he jumps in iRacing as well. So watch out for Salter. If you look outside of the transfer spots, like a guy we have like Fritz from the last heat race, you got to keep your eye on Brent Evans and Craig Swartz. Both of those drivers have been fast on iRacing for quite some time.
Again, Brent Evans, he's no stranger in that 101 machine. When it comes to the big money races, he's right thereabouts, lurking around those transfer positions to lock himself into what will be the prelim main event, but also the main event come Tuesday night, as they all battle. They all battle right now for nothing on the line but a spot in Tuesday night's main event, which will pay a staggering $4,000 to win. Safety car on the pace truck will move to the infield. Front row, we are set for Chase Hardy alongside Kendall Tucker on the front row, who will take out heat race number 4. Thanks to the Plum Wild podcast as we go green. Chase Hardy got a good start, and keep an eye on the man who's got a big helping hand with the Plum Wild podcast is Nathan Waddell in the 5 machine. He goes through the middle, Omega 3 wide down the back straight. Poor Kendall Tucker just got chewed up and nearly spat out there from the outside of the outside of the front row. But Jason Salter around in car number 10.
Well, I was singing his praises about how he's been in a limited modified this year, and he has some tough luck there. And as you mentioned, it got plumb wild in heat race number 5. Those final 4 transfer spots up for grabs. And Kendall Tucker, he kind of stepped to the outside, and he was about to go 2 for 1 special. And then, you know, the cars battling back there for the final transfer spot got together, and, well, we have our first caution flag of heat race number 5.
Yeah, that'll get put on the 2 car, or the 02 car of Craig Swartz. Just got into the back of the 10 car there, so he'll now have to move it to the pit area. So Craig Swartz, you did say that, I mean, that's 2 guys we just sort of spoke about who we're going to keep our eye on, and well, one's at the back and one's in the pits. So not a happy start for heat race number 5, but again, final heat race of group number 1 for the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank. Here at iRacing, live on RaceSpotTV, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, on the VLR page as well. We thank everybody for tuning in here tonight, and we certainly hope you get ready to join us not only for the remainder of the evening, but also Tuesday night, as these drivers will battle it out for a $4,000 payday. And you know, when VLR put on a show, you know they don't do it half-heartedly. They go in full bore, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you had the 6,000 to win spring fling. This is 4,000 win. The birthday bash was, what, 1,000? So, I mean, that's amazing to see as we go back to green flag action. Hardy going to have control of the field once again, the 99 machine. Kendall Tucker can hope for a little bit better start. Brent Evans, the one who lucked out there. He was running back in the 6th spot when the 2 guys in front of him in 4th and 5th caused that caution flag. So, now Brent Evans will inherit the 4th and final transfer spot. Got the field bunched up once again. Kendall Tucker going to slide back to the 3rd position, and Nathan Waddle looking to make a move on the inside.
Well, we're going to move up to the runner-up position. Evans will go to 3rd. Tucker will go to 4th. Keep an eye on Diesel Jones in the 46 machine, battling out with Matt Yorker. Waylon Vining as well. Look at this 3 wide, bit of contact here between Tucker and Waddell. 4 wide in 3 and 4. Nearly 5 wide. There it is, 5 wide off turn number 4. How do you like that, if you don't mind? Oh, boy, Jones slides up. And look at this. We're still 4 wide coming off turn number 2. Man, you know it is on for young and old right now as these drivers are battling for the 4 final transfer positions in tonight's prelim main event.
Yeah, there's big moves going on all over the place. Diesel Jones decided to throw that slider there, got everybody bunched up. Now Waylon Vining on the outside looking in that 5th spot. He started all the way back in 9th, so he's sitting on the outside looking in. Waddle is now falling back to 4th. Kendall Tucker looked like he was going to be in danger of having to go to a B main there for just a few moments. He's going to head back to the middle turns 1 and 2. Brent Evans from 4th up to 2nd after that last restart. Chase Hardy cruising out front.
Yeah, on board right now with Nathan Waddle in the 5 machine as he looks down to the inside. Goes the 77 car of Vinyl. In fact, that's the outside. To the inside is Diesel Jones in that 46. The 3 wide behind him, if you don't mind. You got Matt Yorker. You got Joseph Grandy, Jason Salter. And this is battling for 7th, 8th, and 9th position. And that just goes to show you, we've seen battles throughout the course of this group number 1 heat races so far, up near the front of the field for the transfer spots, but then you've got the guys in the back of the field that are still battling out for those better starting positions in the B main as Waylon Vining gets away there from Diesel Jones out into 3 and 4. And with just 2 laps left to run, it is all Chase Hardy out in front by a big margin.
Jason Salter trying to make the best of a bad situation there as he was caught up in that early accident there with Craig Swartz. And, you know, he's got nose damage. The 21 machine of Yorker has nose damage as well. So he's just trying to get a better starting spot in that B main, keep a little life to make the qualifying feature event for tonight. As, hey, you got to make the show to be the show. And here comes the 10 again, once again, through the middle, 3 wide back there as Hardy continues to roll out front. He's going to pick up heat race number 5. Battle for the 2nd spot. Evans will have it. Tucker gets 2nd. Your 4th model transfer will go to Waddle with Vining, Diesel Jones. And battle for the 6th position. Diesel Jones and Yorker, Salter, Grandy, Woodard, and Swartz rounded out your.
Well, fifth and final heat race is done. Chase Hardy gets the win over Brent Evans, Kendall Tucker, and Nate the Model. Those are your top four that we'll see later on tonight for your 40-lap prelim main event for group number one for Vining, Jones, Yorker, Salter, Grandy, Woodard. Those drivers fifth on back are going to your B mains. Again, there is 3 B mains coming up on the program here tonight with Craig Swartz. We've seen him involved in that incident on lap number 1 with Jason Salter. But B main number 1, let's take us through our lineup.
This is going to be a loaded one here. We're only taking the top 2 10 laps once again. The distance. It'll be Casey Brunson and Hayden Tollison in row number 1. Colton Zimmer came from deep in his heat race. We'll have Diesel Jones to his outside in row 2. Cameron Kaysen, Ethan Bill will be the drivers in row number 3. Watch out for that 18 car. Corey Kussler, Thomas Kowick in row number 4. Joseph Grady, who just saw in heat race number 5, will be joined with Jeremiah Johnson in row at number 5. Robbie Swan caught up in an early accident after he was sitting in a transfer spot in heat race number 1. He'll have Nick Baum to his outside. Baum had some connection issues for his heat race, so good to see him back out on the racetrack. And going to give her a go here from starting deep in the field. Levi Stagman will round out your field. 13 cars set to go 10 laps. We're taking the top 2 to your qualifying feature here in server number 1 of 2. We're going to have server number 2 at the completion of this one, as B Main's brought to you by Logan Motorsports. We'll take the top 2 10 laps the distance. And this is going to be a wild field here. You got a lot of guys who you normally see in a qualifying feature, maybe even in the big show, that, well, some of them ain't going to make it even out of this qualifying B.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is why this was always going to be a tough task to lock yourself into not only the big show on Tuesday night, but to get there, you have to lock yourself into the prelim main event tonight. But I mean, even the drivers that do lock themselves into tonight's 40-lap prelim feature in group number 1 and group number 2, they've still got work to do because they've got to finish inside the top 12 to lock themselves and a chance to battle for that $4,000 payday. Here we go, B main number 1, 10 laps on the board, top 2 going through, and we are underway in the first of 3 B mains.
Brunson will have the early edge with Tollison right there in his footsteps. Here comes Colton Zimmer. Zimmer had to come from deep in his heat race to get close to a transfer spot. He, of course, missed it by a couple positions, but now he's going to be stalking Tollison for the second and final transfer spot. One in the books, and it's Brunson out front.
Brunson still leading the way. There is Tollison running in that second and final transfer position. Keep it on the 20 car of Colton Zimmer will be the first car to miss out on tonight's prelim main event. Oh boy, he got a little tight there. He drifted up the racetrack. Poor old Diesel Jones caught a piece of that one. Now Diesel Jones dives down to the inside, watching Tollison trying to run down on board right now with Cameron Kaysen in that number 18 machine. As you can see, the top 2, they're not too far in front of him right now, but he's still got a lot of work to do as we complete lap number 3. Oh, just catching the wall was Cameron Kaysen there on the front straight away.
He's got a little clean air to try to catch Tollison and Brunson. It became a mess behind him there with Joseph Grandy moving up to the 4 spot. He's still outside looking in. We're a side by side for the 5th position. Kaysen and Diesel Jones still duking it out there. They're racing like they're trying to get that $4,000 payday. This is just the first qualifying B main, as here comes Zimmer closing on your top 2.
Colton Zimmer in that number 20 machine. And we're halfway home. 5 down, 5 to run. This is B main at number 1. There are 3 B mains on the program for tonight. And boy, Hayden Tollison, he is under all sorts of pressure right now because here he comes, Colton Zimmer on board with the driver of the number 20 machine. And in fact, your top 3 on screen, Brunson, Tollison, and Zimmer. Here goes Zimmer down to the inside, looking for the move down into turn number 1 and 2. Couldn't quite make the move stick. No, Hayden Tollison still runs in the runner-up position in that second and final transfer spot.
Last time by, Zimmer was a 1/10 faster. He pulled the trigger on the slider and then thought better of it about halfway through. He rolls back to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Tollison goes to the top shelf. Brunson going to be under attack here momentarily as both of those drivers try to go close on the 10 machine. Casey Brunson in that black and pink number 10 of himself. Looking pretty good early in this one. Right now we're coming to 2 to go, and here comes Zimmer once again to the back bumper of Tollison.
Right now, aboard once again with Colton Zimmer. This is where drivers start to get a little bit desperate, maybe make some moves that they wouldn't normally make. But Tollison still holding on to the runner-up position. Zimmer's got one more opportunity as Casey Brunson in the 10 car will lead him through turn number 1 and 2. They'll hit the back straight away for the final time. Tollison, will he go down to the inside? He somewhat goes down to the inside. Zimmer tries to make it stick down to the inside. He'll catch the left rear quarter panel. Not going to be enough. Casey Brunson will win. Hayden Tollison will grab that second and final transfer spot. What a race for that transfer spot between Tollison and Zimmer. But unfortunately, Zimmer, he's going to miss out. So Brunson and Tollison will go through to the 40-lap main event. Zimmer, unfortunately, going to miss out along with Jones, Case, and Johnson, Bill, Baum, Swan, and Kohik rounding out your top 10. And then we had Kussler and Grandy to come home 11th and 12th. B main number 1 is done. We get ready for B main number 2. Charles Barnes lines up the 21C from position number 1. The 77 of Waylon Vining from position number 2. James Starr in the 741 machine. He'll start from position number 3. Evan Channel lines up the 77 from position number 4. Pearson Davidson lines up the 48 from position number 5. Ian Logan in the 17 will start from position number 6. Jason Salter in car number 10 will line up at a position number 7 to the outside. In car number 0, it'll be Nick King from position number 8. Robert Rainey in the 12 machine will start from position number 9, and Easton Hunter lines up the 8 machine from position number 10. Ray Rami lines up the 76 from 11, and Craig Swartz driving the 02 machine will start from position number 12. And that is B main number 2 lineup. Again, Wes, just like what we've seen in B main number 1, it's 10 laps on the board, and the top 2, those are the guys that are going to be transferring, continuing on their quest at a VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy $4,000 payday come Tuesday night.
Yeah, you got some guys coming from deep in this one. Of course, Salter and Swartz got together in their heat race, and Swartz had to take the EOL and end up finishing in the back of that one. So watch him coming from the back of this one. Salter as well. Nick King made some ground up in his heat race. See what he can do as Barnes and Vining will bring us to green in 3 and 4.
All right, getting ready to go green. B main number 2 is upon us, and it's going to be Charles Barnes. Look immediately down to the inside goes James Starry, holding up Vining. Just jumped the cushion, tagged the wall. They'll go 3 wide. It's a pair of 77s along with the 48 car. There's now James Starry going to slide. Job Barnes for the race lead, but no. Barnes went back around the outside. We've seen Starry. He pulled the 741 machine up, knowing that it's only lap number 1. Didn't need to do anything silly. Keep an eye on Jason Salter as well. Trying to move quickly through these filters. He'll now look down to the inside, but look out, here comes. It's going to be the 17 car of Ian Logan trying to make a name for himself here.
James Starry doing exactly what he did in the heat race. Barnes bounces it off the wall. He's going to have a run on the outside of Starry. 2-car breakaway out in front. They are all bunched up behind him. Salter has nowhere to go. Sitting back there in 6. Starry slides on up the speedway once again. That'll give Ian Logan a chance. He's going to pull right to the back bumper with the 17 machine as Barnes bounces off the wall once again. Now battle for the second spot. Here comes Waylon again on the inside in the 77.
There you go, the 77 of Vining. Trying to get that second and final transfer spot, just slid up across the nose of the 17 car of Ian Logan. Now look at, here comes Evan Channel in the 77 machine. Now Jason Salter sweeps on by. Salter's going to move to position number 4 as he looks to get by Waylon Vining. But out in front, still at the moment, is Charles Barnes, and he has got James Starry, who was all over the back of him down the front straightaway. We're halfway home, 5 down, 5 to run, and you've got a new race leader down the back straightaway. It's the 741 car. This time, James Starry, he is going to look to get clear of the 21C car. He will have it. He will have it at the line. Yes, he does. 4 to run, but here comes Charles Barnes once again, looking back to the outside.
6 laps in the books, 4 laps remaining in this one. Does Barnes just kind of pull back in a line and just try to get separate? No, he's going to slide on in there. That opens the door for Vining. He's going to have a run on the top side. 3-car breakaway, only the top 2 going to tonight's feature event. Jason Salter has made it up to 4th, but he's running out of time as well. Vining going to follow Barnes at the top in 1 and 2. Starry going to try to pull away on the bottom. He will. 3, 4, 5 car lengths. Barnes gets a little bit of breathing room from the 77 as Ian Logan can try to make a late race charge coming to 2 to go.
Yeah, I don't think 4th on back is going to have anything for this one unless we get a caution. Oh, Charles Barnes shoved the caution right in front of Waylon Vining there in the 77 machine. So Vining, he's going to have a couple more opportunities to get by Charles Barnes in the 21C car. We come to the white flag. 1 lap left to go for your race leader. James Starry still on board. We see now Vining go down to the middle of the racetrack. He'll look to slide it up. No, Charles Barnes has got the run on the exit of turn number 2. One final time in heat race B main number 2, I should say, and James Starry, he's going to lock himself into the prelim main event. Second, we'll go to Charles Barnes. Jason Salter around. Heavy contact in turn number 3 and 4. He'll whip across the line. But James Starry on screen will get the win there in B main number 2, along with Charles Barnes. He'll go to the 40-lap main event. Unfortunately for Vining, Logan Swartz, hell of a job from the back of the bus to position number 5. If only he had a caution or started a little bit further up, it could have been a different story. Nick King, Pearson Davidson, Evan Channel, Ray Rami, Easton Hunter. Those drivers are going to make up your top 10 in B main number 2. And you go back to Cole McCubb and Jason Salter and Robert Rainey. But final B main, Wes, and we're getting ready to go racing.
Yeah, the final 2 spots up for grabs in this qualifying feature event. It'll be Cameron Winnegar and Talon Willis on row number 1. Bryce Dickinson, who was very quick early on in his heat race, got caught up in a mess. He'll start inside row 2 with Chad Combs to his outside. Matt Yorker, Nathan Smith will make up row number 3. And we head back to row number 4 with Jesse Main. Keegan Brown, who was in a transfer spot early in his heat race as well. Brett Brew in the 099 machine will be flanked with Alex Woodard to his outside in row number 5. Hunter Wynn, Matthew Selby will be row number 6, and I believe that will round. Oh, one more car. Hunter Gaines set to be the car starting 13th. Looks like he is not going to make the call. So 12 cars, 10 laps the distance. Our final 2 transfers from B main action coming out of this one.
Well,
Winnegar will.
You spoke about Matt Selby. He's going to have to come from position number 12. You go back to what was B main number 2. The drivers that made their way forward, Craig Sports, ended up finishing 5th before. He was actually disqualified from race control, so obviously maybe doing something that he probably shouldn't have done, but nonetheless, he wasn't even going to make this show, unfortunately, but it's still a tall and tough order right now for the drivers here in B main number 3, and like I said, Matt Selby to come from the 12th spot. He's going to have to hope for at least a couple of yellows, but he's got to be the Matt Selby. He's got to be aggressive, but he's got to do it clean and fast.
Absolutely, as Winnegar will lead the field into turns 3 and 4, flanked by Talon Willis to lead us to green. As Winnegar looked pretty good in his heat race, was in a 3-wide battle for the final transfer spot, came up a bit short, came home 5th. The final run down there as Winnegar will lead us to turn number 1 with the early break. We're going to go side by side. Combs going to take a peek at the outside of Dickinson for 3rd. Down the backstretch, we got a battle for the lead as Willis crossed over the 29 machine.
Yeah, Willis in his heat race went from 10th to 6th, so he's got some speed in the number 10 machine. But now you've got Bryce Dickinson in the 84 machine. Spoke about him at we spoke about him at the top of the show, and seeing really keen on what the 84 can do. And right now he's going to battle he's going to be in a 3-car battle for 2 transfer positions. Look out, we've got 1 car around in the middle of 10 of a 3 and 4, and we are going to go yellow. I believe that was the Nathan Smith entry.
You mentioned Selby needed a caution. That's going to help him out a ton, as he's already made his way up to 6th from 12th. So that is exactly what Selby needed.
Yeah, and actually, in fact, Selby was where that accident happened just then. He actually was just to the outside of it, so he was very, very lucky to get away with that one. He's actually going to restart in the 6th spot. You see Bryce Dickinson on screen, and we know with there is the replay there of Jesse Main just getting hit from behind. I think it was the 21 car of Matt York, York actually got hit behind from Nathan Smith in the 44 car. So I don't think Yorker could do anything about that one. It was just a case of, well, they're just trying to race in the same bit of real estate. And when the track gets like this too, and you probably know more than I do when it comes to super late models around here. When the track's like this, there's not a whole lot of grip left here. You've really got to make those moves count.
Oh, absolutely, especially on the bottom. It's such a very small line to hit. I mean, if you rotate a little bit too much and you get your right rear up into the slick and you try to throttle up, you're not really going to go anywhere, and you're going to usually lose the back end of your race car. So it's a very fine line to run that bottom. We've seen the top as the fastest so far, but we saw in that last B main, the top is getting awful treacherous. Barnes put it in the wall a couple times. Still able to get a transfer spot. We'll see what happens here. Still a long way to go as we'll get B main number 3 back underway.
Well, the 3rd row restart is going to be Matt York along with Matt Selby, but right now Talon Willis will lead the field back to the green flag. We're into turn number 1 and 2, and immediately Bryce Dickinson looks to the inside on Winnegar through turn number 1 and 2. Here comes Selby down to the inside. Selby's going to look for 4th, and now he'll get shuffled back to position number 5 there by Chad Combs. But it's still Talon Willis leading the race from Cameron Winnegar. And again, it's only the top 2. This is your final B main of group number 1 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy here at the Dirt Track in Charlotte. Still Bryce Dickinson all over the back. Oh no, look how Chad Combs goes around. There may have been a helping hand there with the 76 car of Matt Selby, or the 79 car, I should say.
I will say this, he might have been blinking a little bit, maybe a little connection issue. Not sure if that might be the reason why I got into him. He slid on up, and he kind of had no idea where he was going to be, but then on exit, he comes back, and Selby just kind of collects that left rear and around to go.
Just some mechanical issues there for the the 09 machine. We'll see how race control deal with that situation. We'll let them deal with that situation, but I can tell you right there, it's no penalty there for the 79 car of Matt Selby, so he's actually going to stay in what will be position number 4 here on the restart. So we should be going back to green the following lap. Hopefully the lights on the iRacing.com official pace truck will turn off. Boy, Talon Willis right now, he's got it all to do. Yes, we are going 1 to green as the lights will go out. Cameron Winnegar, he's not got an easy job at hand right now, sitting in that second and final transfer spot. I'm sure the nerves are starting to maybe get to some of these drivers. And that second row now becomes Bryce Dickinson along with Matt Selby.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Dickinson's going to do here. Does he make the aggressive move? As for about the first 4 or 5 laps of this one, he's been right there with Winnegar. He's pulled to the inside a couple times, really hasn't pulled the trigger on a big move to try to slide across the 29 machine. He's going to have to make something happen. He doesn't get a good start there as he'll slide on up the speedway. Winnegar going to have the edge in the second spot. Will is going to take us back in turns 1 and 2. Selby may just use up the 84 a little bit down the back straightaway. Selby up to 3rd.
Oh, here comes Yorker. Oh boy, look out. Yorker. We got 1 car around Jesse Main. He's on the grass. Looks like we're going to stay green. Yeah, but he's off the racing surface. It's Talon Willis, still your race leader with 3 to run. Cameron Winnegar in that orange number 29 machine. He's got the final transfer spot at the moment, but here comes the bulldog of Matt Selby with 2 to run.
We had such clean and green first 2 B mains. We've had several cautions here, and that has helped out Selby a ton. He'll throw the slider on Winnegar there. Winnegar has to get on the binders, and Selby down from 12th to the second and final transfer spot. Now he's going to try to block the slider in 3 and 4. Winnegar drives her in deep, parks her on the nose, and here comes Dickinson. 3 cars with the final transfer spot come to the white flag.
That slider from Winnegar may just help Bryce Dickinson in the 84 machine. Final lap of B main number 3. We're 3 wide down the back straightaway. Here comes Selby down to the inside. Selby slides up doors to the 29 car, and Bryce Dickinson goes on through. Bryce Dickinson in the 84 machine. He will get that second and final transfer spot. Talon Willis will get the win. And what a way to wrap up what is our 3rd B main. Talon Willis gets the win over Bryce Dickinson, lucking out there in turns 3 and 4. But boy, he really had to earn that one. So hats off to Bryce Dickinson. Cameron Winnegar, unfortunately, finishing 3rd. He will miss the main event here tonight. Keegan Brown, Matt Yorker rounding out your top 5. Hunter Wynn, Matt Selby, Alex Woodard, Jesse Main, and Chad Combs, your top 10. We are ready. As Nathan Smith comes home in 11th, we are ready. We have a track reset. So the track has freshly been scratched. He's going back to 0%. These drivers will have some time to go out onto the racing surface. So what we'll do, we might take this opportunity right now to step aside here on RaceSpotTV and come back as the drivers in group number 1 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing, live on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. We thank you so very much for your attendance so far. We are not done with just yet. We are getting ready to go A main racing for group number 1. But again, I just want to give a quick mention to everybody that has helped out with the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation. Of course, your last chance qualifier, CFM by JDM Designs. Your qualifying sponsor, Speed Ranch E-Setups. Heat sponsors, Heats 1 through to 4, presented by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Heat 5 sponsor, Plum Wild Podcast. Your caution sponsor, Cruise Pedregon Esports. Of course, your prelim night sponsors is Majula C Speed Shop, and your B-Main sponsors, presented by Logan Motorsports. But we know there's a whole list of people that have helped make all this possible. Whereas, and well, I tell you what, it's not only just tonight that it's about the drivers and what they're going to accomplish and what they can achieve. Not only a $4,000 paycheck, but to win a VLR race. And of course, the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy. Boy, that'd be a race to certainly put on the resume for some of these drivers.
Absolutely. I can say from a driving perspective, at least on iRacing, making a VLR show is just, that's a big accomplishment because you're racing against the best of the best. I mean, we're seeing guys here that they can win at any league, any official, any hosted race you can put on iRacing. And, then some of those guys are not even making the show in this deal. I mean, we say we've got 26 of the best of them going to be in this qualifying feature. We've got a whole other server coming up after this one. So, I mean, we really do. We have a lot of guys who put a lot of time into this, and they've raced their way in for this tonight, see if they can lock their way into that 4,000 win show on Tuesday night. It's been great racing so far. This track reset's going to shake things up a little bit. Something else we've got to take into account is tire wear. Of course, that was newly added with the updates not too long back. Not too much of a problem in a 40-lap feature event. Of course, a longer race we'll see on Tuesday will be a big issue. But with a 40-lapper like this, you can run a little bit higher air pressures, and your tires will wear a little bit quicker, but you'll also be a little bit better right off the get-go.
Certainly is. Again, just also going back on the sponsor side of things, again, group number 1 sponsored by the A-Main, sponsored by Spartan Transportation. Group number 2, A-Main, sponsored by Stephen Whitaker Racing. But not only that, you've got individual lap sponsors to sell on Tuesday night, 100 lap sponsors. I mean, a testament to everybody that has gotten behind this wonderful event. When like I said earlier on in the program, when VLR put on a show, they don't do it half-heartedly. They put everything behind it, and they want to make this the best possible race. I mean, we see it with the birthday bash. We've seen it obviously with the UMP modified series that they've just done. Of course, you can't forget the spring fling. I mean, there are so many races that these guys put on, and the amount of money that gets put back to the drivers. You know what? It might cost a little bit to enter, but if you're one of those lucky guys to walk away, again, $6,000 payday for the spring fling, $1,000 for the birthday bash, you've now got $4,000 for the Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy. That right there, between those 3 races alone, has just paid $11,000 to the winner. If you're like the likes of Evan C, you just come off a $10,000 paycheck winning the World of Outlaws Late Model Construction Series. That potentially right there, if he wins all of those, that's $21,000 for a video game.
Yeah, it's wild to think about. This is just a hobby for a lot of people as well. I mean, it's not a full-time job, and it's so amazing that these sponsors are able to get behind it. It's just, this sim like this, and hats off to iRacing for everything that they do and like making this so realistic and everything. But it's so cool to see these sponsors chip in all this money, these people chip in this money to give these folks an opportunity to put on a show for these fans and to give us all a chance to put a little money in our pockets.
Certainly so. We are not too far away from getting this warm-up session done and dusted. Just waiting for race control just to have a look at the track, just to make sure that it is looking all fine and dandy. But all there right now, we will take this opportunity to just take a quick little commercial break, step aside here on RaceSpotTV, and come back with your group number 1 main event. 40 laps on the board, 26 cars getting set to do battle here live from the virtual Dirt Tracker Challenge. You're watching the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing, live on RaceSpotTV.
Side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom. Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak
into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
And we are back here on RaceSpotTV for the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing Group Number 1. A-Main getting set to roll onto the racing surface here in a few moments' time. I am Brett Wheeler, joined alongside Wes Walney. And Wes, we've got our prelim server for Group Number 1 ready to do battle. We've got our 26 drivers getting set to do battle for 40 laps, and those 26 drivers, they battle for the top 12 positions. They will lock in to the $4,000 payday main event on Tuesday night. This is where it all culminates, and to find out who will take home that glorious paycheck on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. All that work you did qualifying and then getting one of those transfer spots. Now it's time to put it all to work. You got 40 laps to get to one of those 12 positions. All those top 12 will make up the inside row for Tuesday night. So it's going to be interesting to see who goes early in this one, who tries to hang back a little bit. As we mentioned, 40 laps not going to be too big on the tires, but you got a lot of guys in the back of the pack. They're going to be trying to get to the front as quick as possible, and that makes things awful hairy when you start getting them all bunched up early on.
Well, we've just had the track reset done and dusted. The drivers are still on the racing surface, but still, we've got plenty of racing still to come here on RaceSpotTV and live on the VLR Facebook page as well. We've still got Group Number 2. It'll be the exact same format of what you've seen here in Group Number 1. You'll have qualifying, followed by 5 heat races, 3 B mains, and then, of course, the 40-lap main event, which, of course, we will line up, or we will take 24 drivers. And as what has been nearly 120 registered drivers over the 2 groups of qualifying. Again, splitting the groups into Group Number 1, Group Number 2, and then Tuesday night is where it will all begin to find out who will walk away with the illustrious crown and the crown jewel of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank. Again, we thank you so very much for your attendance here on RaceSpotTV, and we look forward to your company not only for the remainder of the night, but also on Tuesday night, as we've still got a lot of racing left to come. Not only tonight, but also Tuesday night. Again, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsors and everybody behind the scenes that has made this possible. You know, not only for us to be up here in the booth, but to put on this wonderful event. Of course, you've got the night one sponsor, Majula C Speed Shop. We've obviously got our main sponsor in Spartan Transportation and Dirt Track Bank. We've got our caution and replay sponsor. Big thanks to Cruz Pedregon Esports for jumping on board. You've got your Speed Ranch setups for qualifying sponsors. Your heats 1, 2, 3, and 4 presented by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Heat number 5 presented by Plum Wild Podcast. Your B-Main sponsors, Logan Motorsport sponsoring B-Mains 1, 2, and 3. Group Number 1 A-Main sponsored by Spartan Transportation, and Group Number 2 A-Main sponsored by Stephen Whittaker Racing. Not only have those wonderful people and businesses chipped in to make this wonderful event happen, but the individual lap sponsors, and there is 100 of them to go through. I'm not going to list off 100 of them, but to everybody that has chipped in with the lap sponsorship, but also the main sponsorship on behalf of VLR and everybody that put this on, thank you so very much for making this what it is. Of course, we're getting ready. The field is set, and we just wait for the final few seconds of this warm-up session, and it is done. And Race Control have deemed that the track is ready enough to go racing here live from the virtual Dirt Track at Charlotte. Let's take a look at your starting grid in the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank. Group Number 1 on the pole position with the 127 car, Blake Majulis. To the outside from position number 2, it's Dylan Hauser. From position number 3 with the 52 car of James Eden, as Scott Fritz lines up the 48 from 4. Chase Hardy will start position number 5 in caliber 99. Desmond Busby lines up the 82 from 6.
We head back to row number 4 on the inside. That'll be Chance Carr in the 02 machine. To his outside, Christopher Joy in the 40. Inside row number 5, Trey Mills, who sat on the pole of his heat race after a great qualifying run out of Florida, will make up inside of row number 5 with Brent Evans to his outside. Dylan Wilson going to have a ways to go. He'll start 11. Barrett Bishop to his outside.
We go back to row number 7, position number 13. Brett Cottle will start alongside Carson Friedman from 14. 15th to be the double O car of Kendall Tucker. Keith Hackney to the 91 will start from position number 16. Justin Norwood in the car number 4 will start from position number 17. The 19 of Jamie Massey starts 18.
We're going to be starting inside row number 10. That'll be Thaddeus Marshall with Nathan Waddle to his outside. Starting 21st will be Casey Brunson, James Story in position number 22, Talon Willis and Hayden Tollison in row number 12.
And we go back to the final row from positions number 25 and 26. It's the 21 of Charles Barnes from position 25, and from 26, it's the 84 car of Bryce Dickinson, who has 26 cars, 40 laps, top 12 lock into Tuesday night's Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy main event for a $4,000 payday. Group number 1, who's your money on?
I think I'm going to have to go with Scott Fritz. Scott Fritz was the one who really showed us that he could drive from outside of a transfer spot. Started 6th in his heat race, drove up and got the lead, got by Mills there late in heat race, I believe, number 3. So I'll take Scott Fritz from outside row number 2. He was really good on the top side. The top's going to be good here. It's going to take a little while to roll in like it was early on in his heat race because the track got reset, but it looks pretty good. And if there's anybody who showed probably the most speed in heat race action, I'll take Fritz.
All right, well, I mean, it's hard to go from the man on the pole position, but really, it doesn't matter who wins to me. It's just as long as we get a good racing. Let's get naughty for 40 here at the Dirt Track in Charlotte. Your 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Prelim Group number 1 main event is underway, and we see the 127 car of Majulis leading the way. Here comes the 52 car, of James Edens. Dylan Hauser runs in second, make that 3rd spot now as James Edens quickly moves up to the runner-up position.
When the track was a little tackier, we saw the bottom looking pretty good early on, and then it kind of went away as we got to the later heat races. Eden's going to use that bottom to travel up to the 2nd spot. Oh, we got a little contact back there. That's Wilson going to be sliding on back. I believe that's Chance Carr he got into as they slide outside of the top 10. That's interesting to watch. We've got a lead. We got Blake Majulis leading the way. Eden's going to be pulling away there in 2nd. Battle for the 3rd spot. Here comes Chase Hardy.
Yeah, Chase Hardy along with Dylan Hauser. They go side by side, but watching Chance Carr and Scott Fritz as Fritz going to lose the 5th spot at the start-finish line. So that's going to be all important if we were to get the yellow. So right now, Chance Carr had 5th at the start-finish line. We'll see what it all happens here. Here comes Trey Mills right in the thick of things. Trey Mills going to get into the back of the 2 car. Chance Carr goes around. There's a 720. I can't count what's next after 720 because he only did a 90 degrees. He done an 810 and he goes around.
Yeah, tough luck there for Chance Carr as he was running right there in about the 6th position, and things just turned sour in a hurry. You know, when you get them bunched up and everybody racing so hard early in this one, he just kind of got the short end of the stick.
All right, so the first caution, we take a look at the Cruise Pedigree Esports instant replay. Chance Carr just getting a little helping hand there from the 14 car of Trey Mills. There's your 720, there's your 810. Luckily, not too much damage on that race car, but probably enough. Hopefully, should be able to go into the pits, get that car fixed up and come back out and go line up at the tail end of the field. But there is the man. There is 2 guys that have been in a lot of the World Championships. The only thing that I can think of that Blake Majulis hasn't done is when they were in the USAC non-win World Championships. James Edens?
Yeah. I don't think Majulis has run that one. I know Edens has, yeah. Majulis usually, I think, really sticks to the sprint cars and late models, but, I mean, he's fast in anything he gets into this point. I'm keeping my eye on Kendall Tucker. He got caught up in that mess a little bit. He might have some nose damage after that caution.
All right, lights are out. Coming back to green. 5 down, 35 to run. Blake Majulis, James Edens on the front row. So we went naughty for 40 at the start. Dylan Hauser, boy, he tightened that restart to perfection. He is all over the back and all over the inside of your race leader. And Hauser's gone from 30, sliding up to the race lead. But here comes Majulis back down to the inside as they work down into turn number 3. Majulis has got it. Here comes Chase Hardy, driving it right up to the concrete wall in turns number 4. James Edens back to 3rd, Scott Fritz 4th. Hardy will round out your top 5, but there is your race leader on screen now. Watching Fritz, he's got some company with Barrett Bishop, Chase Hardy and Dylan Wilson right there as Hardy goes top shelf. Hauser to the inside once again on Majulis. Majulis fends off the challenge for the race lead.
How many times have we seen Hauser versus Majulis and versus Edens in there too, as Edens takes a peek at the inside of Hauser for the second spot. Majulis can try to separate himself from that battle. As the racetrack really going through some changes right now, we see the bottom being the dominant line in 3 and 4. Top is pretty good over in 1 and 2. They're still beating and banging back through the pack. Now looks like Hauser going to get up into the fence a little bit. He's going to try to mount a charge around the 52 of Edens.
Yeah, just leaving that inside lane open in turn number 1 and 2 for James Edens to try and make that work. But boy, I tell you what, the momentum that Hauser carried on the exit of turn number 2, he was able to get back around the outside of the 52 car. And the amount of World Championship races these two top 3 drivers have been in is, I mean, you can't even really begin to fathom what these 3 drivers have accomplished here on the iRacing.com service. 1/4 of the race distance is complete. 10 down, 30 to go. And Blake Majulis still leads the field from Dylan Hauser and James Edens. And boy, what a top 3, what a stout top 3 it is. Here comes Hauser, almost. I thought he was going to try and go to the inside there of Majulis as they just step in line, single file. And that's Scott Fritz as well. Dylan Wilson in 4th and 5th, but Scott Fritz, he's closing in on your top 3, and he's really shown some speed here tonight.
If that topside comes back in, I think Fritz's setup was perfect in the heat race to run up there. As here comes Dylan Wilson as well, pushing up through the middle of turns 3 and 4. Him and Bishop were side by side there for a couple of laps. As we got caution on the speedway. Looks like a little mess back through the pack, as we'll see what brought out the second caution of this feature event.
Yeah, just trying to have a look. Maybe Brent Evans in the 101 machine. Just coming together with the 82 car of Desmond Busby. There it is on screen. Your Cruise Pedregon Esports instant replay, and the caution flag coming courtesy of the 101 machine. So back live here from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. Brent Evans gets that car repaired, and he will tag up and join the tail end of the field. But I got to say, it's 13 laps. Yes, we've had 2 cautions, but the racing between Majulis, Hauser, and Edens, you know it's only going to get better. As I said, later on in that run that we just had, Scott Fritz, he was catching your top 3, and it's not like your top 3 were throwing sliders on each other. They were pretty much running nose to tail in 3 and 4. It was just 1 and 2, which is probably the difference maker between, you know, the likes of Dylan Hauser and James Edens. But Scott Fritz showing some early race pace here at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Yeah, Fritz looking pretty good. It took him a little while to get going, maybe just trying to build up the tire pressure, especially in the right rear. But I'm also looking at Wilson and Bishop right there behind him. They're big movers so far. Wilson went from 11th to 5th in the first 13 of this one. Bishop from 12th to 6th. Kendall Tucker from 15th to 8th, so he's already up 7 positions. And right now, your cutoff point, the 12th driver who would lock in, is Keith Hackney with Desmond Busby and Brent Evans, who were part of that last caution. Evans was in the 10th spot whenever the caution came out. Of course, the caution brought to you by Cruise Pedregon Esports.
Thanks to everybody involved with putting on this 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing. This is group number 1, your prelim main event, 40 laps in distance. Top 12 will lock into a race on Tuesday night, which will be the main event, and a $4,000 payday for one of these drivers. Here, so that they've got an opportunity to do so. But they've got to get there first. They've got to make sure they lock themselves into the top 12 from this main event. But here we go. 13 down, 27 to go. And it's the 127 of Blake Majulis and Dylan Hauser. I don't want to say sleeping on that start, but just got caught napping a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't get a very good jump there. Edens got a really good go on the bottom of the racetrack, but we saw Hauser get to the second spot on a restart via the bottom, as Hauser going to pull back in a line behind Majulis. Here comes Fritz. He's got pressure from Wilson. We're 3 wide back through the pack. Here comes Kendall Tucker trying to take a peek at the inside of Barrett Bishop and bringing Chase Hardy right there with him. We got a whole big mess as there goes Justin Norwood around, and that'll bring out our 3rd caution flag of this qualifying feature.
Yeah, caution number 3 in 15 laps, and see if we can bring up the Cruise Pedregon Esports instant replay for you. The 4 car of Justin Norwood happened to go around. Let's see what happened here. He just looks like he just somewhat checked up to the cars in front of him. I think that was Friedman in the 3 car, I think it was. That just tagged the rear bumper of that 4 car of Justin Norwood as we come back live to you from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. And those 2 cars on screen just there, the 48 of Scott Fritz along with the 80 car of Dylan Wilson. They were coming after your top 3 drivers, but then you look back and just, you sort of mentioned it just before we went back to that caution. We came back under the yellow flag. Barrett Bishop, Kendall Tucker, I think it was Chase Hardy as well. Those 3 drivers, they were coming after your top 5 drivers, and even though they're in the top 12, we spoke about it during the B mains. Yes, you're in a transfer spot, but these drivers, they want a better starting spot, because not only are they fighting for a better starting spot, one position is essentially one row.
Yeah, absolutely, because this is going to be making up the inside row, your top 12 as we go back to green flag action. Good restart there for Majulis. Hauser, much better restart, not sleeping near as much as he was last time. Eaton's going to have a run on the inside, though. Scott Fritz going to move to the top shelf. That's where he was good in the heat race. Here comes a battle for the lead. Hauser going to drive to the inside, nearly makes contact with Eaton, slides on up. Oh, no, right across the nose of Majulis, and Fritz going to catch the bad end of that one. They'll bounce around a little bit. We somehow stay green, but that really shakes up the top 4.
It certainly does, and it gives James Edens in the 52 car the race lead. How about Dylan Wilson in that 80 machine, the Demon RT cars? A couple of former teammates going at it with Wilson and Majulis as they go side by side for third and fourth. Look at this, they're 2, 3, and 4 wide off turn number 4, right in the mid-pack, right around that transfer spot, but stay focusing on the battle for third and fourth right now. Second, third, and fourth, I should say. Hauser, Majulis, and Wilson. They're all trying to run down James Edens, just a couple of laps away from half race distance here in group number 1, presented by Spartan Transportation.
Yeah, you got to wonder how short of a memory Majulis is going to have there as Hauser parked it right on his nose and caused that bunch up, especially Scott Fritz. He is the one that is really under fire back there to the back. Now he is caught in that hornet's nest back there for the final transfer positions as Hauser is now pulled away from Majulis. Here comes Dylan Wilson the inside. Wilson started all the way back in 11th. He's brought Bishop with him, who's up 7 spots from 12.
Here's Fritz to the top side. He goes. Talon Willis in the 10 machine. Going to make it 3 wide, nearly 4 wide down the front straight away. And Fritz is still sticking it upstairs. He's going to sell some T-shirts here tonight. Still 3 wide. Hackney to the inside right now on Christopher Joy. They go 4 wide once again down into turn number 3. Oh, nearly 4 wide for an entire lap, but 3 wide for the most part of that lap. But now Fritz on the outside. Look at him. Poor old Scott Fritz. Boy, talk about having some bad luck here in this main event. He needs to turn it around with 19 to go.
Yeah, they are absolutely throwing everything at each other. It's haymakers galore. As now that they'll slide right up in front of Fritz. Fritz has that nose damage after that slider from Hauser on Majulis. We're 3, 4 wide. Willis, 2-car slider into 1 and 2, and oh mercy, that's going to cause a bunch up. Somehow we're still green. I don't know how Talon Willis is still rolling on the racetrack, but now he's going to lose about 5 spots.
What in God's name are we witnessing here at the dirt track in Charlotte? There was sliders, there was contact, there was cars half turned around, there was drivers 3, 4, and nearly 5 wide around the virtual dirt track in Charlotte. Turning it on here, 24 down with 16 to run. You're watching on screen the 48 car. Oh, Scott Fritz going to battle with the 10 car. It's Brunson. Brunson slides up. Fritz turns it back underneath, and this is your battle for the transfer position. One of these drivers, whoever finishes 12th, if it's one of these 2 drivers, they're going to have a chance at $4,000. Otherwise, the other one is going to start on the front row of the last chance qualifier come Tuesday night.
Scott Fritz, they're going to get into the back bumper of Brunson. That opens the door for Waddell in the 5 machine. He slides in front of Fritz. Now he's going to look to the inside of Brunson for that final transfer spot. Kendall Tucker on the outside looking, and he's starting to rally in that 0-0 after being caught in one of those early cautions. We got a battle brewing as well for the lead as Hauser's closing in on Edens with Blake Majulis back up to the 3rd spot.
Yeah, there's only half a second separating your top 3, and oh boy, this is going to change it all. We are yellow. And we're under the Cruise Pendragon Esports yellow flag here at the dirt track at Charlotte. So we can bring up the instant replay chance car in the number 2 machine. Oh, just caught the left rear there. Not sure who that was who caught the left rear quarter panel of it. Unfortunately, car goes around. He'll go back to the tail end of the field and come back live as the pace truck's really got some speed here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Then decides to slow it up. But as I said, just before we went back under the yellow flag conditions, top 3 separated by about half a second, and this restart is really going to change things up.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen for those final transfer positions. We, of course, got the battle for the lead and who will be your pole setter for the 4,000 win finale on Tuesday night to be decided here. As Edens, of course, got the lead when Hauser and Majulis got together on a slider by Hauser. Edens crossed over both of them and took the top spot. Wilson and Bishop round out your top 5. We have seen a crazy race back there behind him. Massey would be in a transfer spot with Desmond Busby, Hackney, Starry, Tollison, and Brunson will restart in that 12th final transfer spot. We'll see if Scott Fritz can get something rolling here. Poor guy has been stuck in everybody else's mess. He's been awful fast tonight, but he's going to be restarting in the 14th position.
Couple of big movers and shakers. Waddell from 20th to 13th. Brunson 21st to 12th. Tollison 24th to 11th. Starry 22nd to 10th. Hackney 16th to 9th. Massey 18th to 8th. A few of those drivers have got themselves in a transfer position. Here we go. 13 laps to go. And it's James Eden, Dylan Hauser. Again, a wealth of experience on the front row. And Hauser made a little mistake there on the entry into turn number 1. And he'll give up the runner-up position as Blake Majulis goes on by, as does Dylan Wilson. Wilson going to slide it by. He'll touch the tail to the rear bumper of your race leader. And he kept it going nice and straight now. Oh, Wilson going to go around. No, is he? Oh, it's a 327 car. Hayden Tolleson, literally nowhere to go for a handful of these drivers. Tolleson goes around, car involved, Evans involved, the 32 car of Christopher Joy involved as well. Just when you thought we were going to keep it green, once again, unfortunately, it all just unravels here at the dirt track at Charlotte, and the restarts, they can be crucial at some points of the race. We take a look at the Cruise Pedregon Esports instant replay. Just nowhere to go for some of those drivers. Fritz actually got into the back of the 101 machine, but I don't think anything Fritz could have done differently there, because he was already committed to that starter line, and Evans, I think, was just trying to check up for the carnage that was happening and the incidents that was happening in front of him.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. They wrecked about 4 or 5 times out of turn number 4 there, so it got pretty wild there. Of course, we saw Wilson. He's the one who got caught in the mess and got turned sideways about 2 or 3 times. Finally got right in the right direction, and then everybody else continued to wreck around him. And tough luck there for Brent Evans. That is the second caution he has been a part of that has not been his doing. Is now he'll head back to the back of the pack, and with a very broke race car.
Yeah, James Starry as well was given the end of line penalty, so he'll have to restart from what is position number 26 in this one. Reminder, top 12. How about Barrett Bishop as well? Haven't really mentioned him throughout the course of this main event, other than just a couple of times, probably around the lap sort of 15 to 18 mark when he was battling with, I believe it was Kendall Tucker and Chase Hardy. He restarts in third. He started right on that transfer position in position number 12, and he has got a good opportunity at starting in the first 3, even 5 rows of the main event come Tuesday night. But safety car is in. 29 down, 11 laps left to run. Here we go. James Edens stops the throttle down. We go back racing, and Blake Majulis again. He got a good restart as they work down into turn number 1 and 2. Edens is going to slide it all the way to the cushion. Barrett Bishop looking down to the inside, but here comes Majulis now. Majulis is going to throw a slide jump for the race lead. No, he'll slide it up mid-track. He'll leave James Edens a lane to the outside of the racetrack, and James Edens will lead with 10 laps left to run here at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Looks like the top side's getting just a little bit better. They'll go single file for your top 3. Now top 5 as Wilson pulls back into line behind Desmond Busby. Busby has had to march his way back toward the front. He was in your top 3 earlier in this one, got caught in a mess. As we watch the battle for the transfer spots, Hauser all the way back there in 6th. We have got 5 cars duking it out for 7th. Jamie Massey has it. Brunson, Hackney, Hardy, and Trey Mills all trying to stay in those transfer positions. Man, it is a mess back there. 4 wide now for the 9th position.
Mills and Hardy come together. Now here comes the 5 car of Nathan Waddell. Mills slid up and hit the concrete wall. 4 wide off turn number 2 and down the back straight. Here comes Kendall Tucker again. Boy, they are not making it easy on themselves. Oh, 1 car getting a little tight there near the back of the field when we go 3 wide down the front straightaway. And again, it's this battle for the transfer spot. Is heating up Justin Norwood. He has got it at the moment in the number 4 machine. But here comes Trey Mills back to the outside down into turn number 3.
Trey Mills giving her all she's got on the top side, as right now he sets on the outside looking in with Justin Norwood. A big power move to move up into the 12th and final transfer spot. Now Mills going to get to the right rear quarter panel of Norwood down the backstretch. Watch out now for Thaddeus Marshall. He's got the bottom rolling again in his blue number 4 as Mills back to the top shelf, looking to the outside of Norwood for the final transfer spot with 5 to go.
5 to run here at the dirt track at Charlotte. James Eden still your race leader. This battle for the transfer position is on like Donkey Kong. Thaddeus Marshall, here he comes down to the inside, 3 wide. They all try and track down your number 4 car of Justin Norwood. Bit of contact, Kendall Tucker into the wall in the 00 machine. Hardy's got some company as well with the 4 car of Justin Norwood. 3 to go on the start-finish line for your race leader of James Edens.
James Eden leading the way, and he has no idea what's going on way back there behind him as he's got Majulis still hot on his heels. Norwood holding on to that 12th and final transfer spot. Gets a couple car lengths of breathing room. Now Mills can make contact with him in that battle for the final transfer position. You got the 10 of Willis back there. Kendall Tucker full send down there, grabs a Uke tire. That'll cost him 3 or 4 spots. 2 to go in your qualifying feature on server number 1.
Group number 1's And oh, there goes the 10 car of Willis. Oh boy, we are yellow. And we've only got one chance to get this one in. And this is really going to shake things up here at the dirt track at Charlotte. 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank. Group number 1, of course, your main event brought to you by Spartan Transportation. And Group 1 sponsored by Majula Speed Shop. Boy, just when you thought things weren't going to get a little crazy on that one, with one green-white checker. These drivers, this is where drivers will get desperate. But in saying that, if they do the wrong thing, all results will be unofficial until race control have a good hard look at it, and that's where you can be penalized. You can be penalized post-race for this sort of stuff. So if you're going to make some moves, you need to do it properly.
Absolutely, Ash. You got to be careful if you're one of those top 12 guys right now. If you're in 13th, 14th, 15th, you don't want to hurt your chance of starting near the front at the LCQ, but you also can't go in there and not take a chance at that final transfer spot. We saw Mills get together with Norwood a couple times, as right now your 12 transfers would be Edens, Majulis, Bishop, Busby, Wilson, Hauser, Massey, Hackney, Brunson, Waddell, Hardy, and Norwood, the one to watch. Keep an eye on that bright yellow Ford machine. He holds the final transfer spot, but he's got Thaddeus Marshall, Trey Mills, Talon Willis, Carson Friedman, all right there, going to be chomping at the bit on the restart.
Speaking of restarts, double file restarts. Leader has lane choice, and James Edens has opted to go to the outside. That is that could be a very, if he happens to win this one, or even if he doesn't, as long as he finishes top 3, certainly going to have to ask him about that one. The lights on the pace truck and the iRacing.com safety car is in, and we are back to green. A green-white checker is all that separates 12 of these drivers to lock themselves into the $4,000 payday. Majulis and Edens go side by side down through turn number 1 and 2. It's literally a drag race down the back straightaway. You can't split them as they work down into turn number 3. Majulis slides up across the nose of the 52 car. Edens back to the inside. Blake Majulis will lead with 1 lap left to run. Edens slides back up across the nose of the 127 car. Here comes Hauser. Look at Desmond Busby as they work side by side down into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Off for turn number 4. Edens, Majulis, they make contact. Oh, Busby's going to win. Desmond Busby will win. What a finish. How about that one? Desmond Busby by 0.052 of a second. And Desmond Busby is going to lead us to the green flag come Tuesday night, unofficially at the moment. Desmond Busby gets the win.
Oh, man, Desmond Busby, right place, right time there. Edens and Majulis duking it out. We knew Majulis was probably pretty aggressive on the restart. He kind of motored his way up there. Might have used a little bit of the left side up of Edens. Edens goes back in there in 3 and 4. Saw an opportunity to kind of muscle his way through there as well. They get together, coming off of turn number 4, and Desmond Busby shoots the gap down to the bottom, picks up the win. What a race. What a crazy finish to that one. A green-white checker gives us a crazy start to this 2-race start of this one. Man, I'm ready now for server number 2 at this point.
As if you wouldn't be ready for server number 2. Your results on screen. Desmond Busby gets the win over James Edens, and Blake Majulis will tattoo your top 3 here momentarily. Barrett Bishop in 4th. Dylan Hauser rounds out your top 5. Dylan Wilson grabs 6. Keith Hackney 7. Jamie Massey, Casey Brunson, Nathan Waddell rounds out the top 10. We go over and look through 11th through to 20th. Justin Norwood will grab 11th, and Trey Mills will get that 12th and final transfer position, meaning 13th. On back will be headed to the last chance qualifiers. That is Talon Willis, James Starry, Carson Friedman, Hayden Tolleson, Chance Carr, Christopher Joy, Thaddeus Marshall, Bryce Dickinson. He finishes in position number 20. Kendall Tucker 21st. Last car on the lead lap. Then you go back to Chase Hardy, a lap down in 22nd. Charles Barnes 23rd. Scott Fritz 2 laps down in 24th. Brett Cordell and Brent Evans to wrap up this 26 car field, as we have got 3rd place out of the cockpit of the race car, and we'll come and chat to the man that led us to the green flag but comes home in 3rd place tonight. It's Blake Majulis. Blake, congratulations on 3rd place. Well, you've done the first part of what is the big part, and that's locked yourself into the main event, and you've done that. You've still got a good starting spot, but talk us through your race here tonight.
I got hit by everybody in the top 5. I don't know. It's a bummer. Really fast, really good. Should have never been dealing with all that. Should have been in the lead, and just kept getting better and better. as the race went on, and got hit Hauser and then junked on the last lap for the pole. So we'll come full force Tuesday night, no games, and we'll do it how they do it.
These big money shows, it's always trying to make yourself put yourself in a good starting spot. It all starts with qualifying in the first or the second server. That's what sets yourself up. Once you get through that, then of course you go through the heats, and as long as you get through that okay, then you can worry about the prelim. What do you do from now to Tuesday to get yourself dialed in for that $4,000 payday come Tuesday night?
Yeah, just work on some small things and just hope everything goes your way, but it's tough sometimes, so hopefully just everything goes right and you have a good run.
Blake, well done on third place here tonight. We'll let you thank everybody involved on this 127 car for finding a podium spot here on the front stretch.
Yeah, Majula C Speed Shop, CFM Esports, Represent Limited, Reliable Energy Solutions, Design 75, everyone that puts on the race, and hope the admins open their eyes and get a good race here on Tuesday. No junk.
I think it's safe to say a very heated up Blake Majulis in that 127 machine. We still wait for the man that finished in second spot of James Eden. But I tell you what, Wes, your first time here, I'm going to give you the honor of chatting to the man that comes away with your race win of Desmond Busby.
Desmond, you there? You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Take us through that last restart there. It's a green, white, checkered finish. You see Majulis and Edens get into it. Then James goes back in there in 3 and 4. You kind of shoot the gap. What's kind of going through your mind as you head down the back straightaway?
Well, the main thing was just survive the whole race, because, honestly, I did not expect to, be up here, obviously. And, we got damage on our nose early on in the race, so basically my mindset the whole race was just survive, keep the nose clean.
You saw the mess happening in the middle of the pack when you slid on back there. What was kind of the key to rallying back to being in the top 5 or so and being there at the finish too? Now you're the pole sitter for Tuesday night's finale.
Yeah, like I said, the main goal tonight was just make the race and try to keep the car clean. And we made the race, and we just didn't expect this to happen. So kind of caught us off guard, but with me starting on pole, honestly, we're just going to try to hang on and hopefully we can get it done.
40 laps, obviously not 100 that we're going to be seeing on Tuesday night. What kind of changes are you thinking about with the race car, and kind of what's going to be the mindset? Is it going to be go from the drop of the green, or kind of hang back a little bit and see how things shake out?
I don't know. Well, since we're setting the pace early on, we might just go. We'll just have to ride it out and see what's going to happen. It's obviously a lot more laps, so going to have to be a little bit more strategic and patient, but for the most part, just see how it goes.
Well, let's talk about all the people in that 82 machine.
Yeah, I just got to thank everyone over at D1RT. They helped me out a lot and, put in the work, so we just got to say a big thanks to them, and John Darby for the paint, and you guys for broadcasting, and everyone and all the sponsors who put this on. This is a pretty cool deal, and just thank for everyone coming out.
Well, congratulations on the win. We'll see you again on Tuesday night. You lead us to the green for 100 laps.
Thank you.
All right, Desmond Busby home with the win here tonight in group number 1. We'll chat to the man that comes home in the runner-up position, driving the number 52 car. It is James Edens. James, congratulations on the second place finish yesterday. Boy, that race had a little bit of everything, but man, that last couple of laps, I got to ask you first off, the choice to go to the top side, what was that for?
I could tell from the restart, prior, and just kind of all night, the bottom was getting worse and worse. And I figured if I had control up there, I could, have a good pace through there and get a good jump and, keep him from making a move in 1 and 2. And, it was pretty successful. He definitely hung back and rolled the start a little bit there, and, was able to be alongside me and then get me into 3. But, the track was good. The race was good. I don't know what happened there with to cause that green, white, checkered, but we'll take second.
We've got 100 laps on Tuesday night. You've already locked yourself in, so you'll start on that second row, whether inside or outside. doesn't really matter where you start because, 100 laps, you've done 40 laps here tonight. Do you learn anything from tonight that you can get yourself prepared for Tuesday night's $4,000 payday?
For sure, we got to see what the track did over, it was only a 40 lap run, but, it changed a lot from where we started to where we ended. So, that's always good to see. And then just, good to see where we stack up, coming into the 100 lapper. Obviously, I felt like we were pretty good. So, hopefully we can carry that speed over to Tuesday night.
James, congratulations on the runner-up finish here tonight in Group Number 1 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank. We know whenever these big money races or whenever the World of Outlaws, the World Championship races, you're always going to be one of those drivers to contend for those wins, not only for the wins each night, but also to come to championship. James, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 52 car that made this possible for you tonight.
Yeah, just got to thank the guys at Alpha Industries. We put in a lot of laps, have a good car. Alpha Industries, Green Mountain Grills, Dominator Designs and Wraps, and just everyone that gave me support along the way.
James, well done on second place. Good luck on Tuesday night. Hopefully we get to chat to you and as a victor in a $4,000 payday.
Thank you, sir.
There we go. James Edens, your runner-up finisher in Group Number 1 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank. Group 1 brought to you, the main event brought to you by Spartan Transportation. As we get ready for Group Number 2, we'll take this opportunity right now to step aside here on RaceSpotTV and on the VLR Facebook page. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more racing to come. Group Number 2 up next.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceSpotTV for the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank here on the iRacing.com service, live on RaceSpotTV. I am Brett Wheeler, joined alongside by Wes Gwaltney, Hugo Louis down in the production trailer, bringing you all the sights and sounds of this wonderful venue as we get ready. Wes, we've just finished Group Number 1, and boy, it has really set the tone, really set the scene for Group Number 2, because now, again, we put another 60 drivers on the racetrack. We've got practice happening at the moment. We've got qualifying, 5 heats, 3 B mains. Again, the track will get a scratch on it. It'll come back to 0%. We'll have a warm-up session and then another 40-lap main event to determine the other 12 drivers that will lock in to the $4,000 payday come Tuesday night.
Yeah, that first server was an absolute madhouse. I mean, we saw crazy racing in the heat races and, of course, the feature event. I mean, a green, white, checkered finish that saw James Eden and Blake Majulis, who were running 1-2 on the restart, go finish second and third, and Desmond Busby just right place, right time. And even he was still amazed as we talked to him in victory lane. So he will be leading us to green on Tuesday night, as now we're going to find out who will be next to him and the other 12 drivers who will lock their way in. We've got 12 in from server number 1, adding 12 from server number 2. And once again, another loaded roster of drivers in this one. And you're going to have another mad dash to try to get to those top 12 transfer spots.
When you put a $4,000 paycheck on the line for one of these drivers to walk away with, you know you're going to walk away and you're going to have the best of the best here on the iRacing.com service competing to become the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy victor. We look at server number 2. We've just seen Group Number 1. We'll look at Group Number 2 now. We've got the likes of Alex Bergeron. He's won world championships in sprint cars. He's been there again for all, I want to say all of the world championships. He's basically the James Edens of group number 2 when it comes to the big races. You know he's going to be towards the front. Austin Silverman's a name that we haven't really seen too much of as of late. And he's been in a number of world championships in the sprint car side of things. We look at the likes of Chase Barbara, picked up a championship, and what he's done over the past probably year or so on iRacing. He's going to be one to watch in that number 23 car. We've got Cody Nevin, Damian Kiefer, Dylan Yeager. I mean, I can just continue to rattle off names. Evan C. back-to-back, the late model world championship victors. There are so many guys. Again, in server number 2, it is hard. It is going to be hard to pick a winner, not only tonight, but to get those other 12 drivers to have 24 locked in to Tuesday night. In those 24 drivers, you really cannot pick a winner.
No. I mean, it is going to be tough. Of course, Evan C is going to be the guy everybody's gunning for. Of course, he won the VLR Spring Fling and got a big payday with that one. And then he just comes off the VLR UMV Modified Series Championship as well. So keep an eye on him. Colton Herbert, another name's out there we haven't really mentioned. He was the winner of the Birthday Bash. Keep an eye on him as well. He'll be quick. And Connor New, that's another name you want to keep an eye on, as he got a victory in the UMP Series. Kind of surprised a lot of people. He has really found a lot of speed as of late. And that's the thing about these that we were talking about, these servers being so loaded, that there's legitimately 60 guys in this race who think that they can win that $4,000 on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. And again, I just want to mention one other name. I spoke, we've spoken about the likes of Blake Majulis, FSC, what they've been able to accomplish from the late model side of things, and then do it in the sprint car side of things. Let's reverse this role. Let's talk about a guy that has done this a lot and started in sprint cars, then made his way to late models, and is now doing it in the late models. Can you guess who I'm talking about?
Not sure, but I'm going to bet it's going to be somebody we're going to keep an eye on tonight.
Keep an eye on the 41 of Logan Rumsey. Again,
Absolutely.
Seeing him evolve and what he's been able to accomplish, and get the handle, and especially when we talk about you spoke earlier on in the night about tire wear. Of course, that's going to be a massive thing come Tuesday night in the 100 lap main event. I can go back to the first VLR race once the tire wear was issued. I want to say it was at Port Royal. Logan Rumsey, JD Brown, they just rode around, didn't really think anything of it, and then the last probably 15 to 20 laps, they literally come away, and they actually drove away from everybody. So he's a driver, and again, with that real life experience, he's a driver that we are going to have to keep an eye on, because again, as I said, predominantly ran sprint cars, ran some non-wings, loves to run the midgets, but now he's doing it in the late models, and he's showing the late model boys that when he comes into the server in the late model, even if it's a UMP, no matter when that 41 car loads in, again, he's going to be one of those drivers and one of those names to certainly keep an eye on. So keep an eye on the 41 car of Logan Rumsey. But again, as we've already said, we can't really count out anybody in this field, because, I mean, anybody can literally take this one away. Look at the timesheets right now. Connor New. You spoke about Connor just before. He's actually the quickest car. He's the quickest car on the racetrack. He's turned the fastest lap with a 14.415. He's got about 300ths of a second back to Mason Crawford, Chase Barber, Cam Harris, Zach Jenkins. I mean, these drivers, a couple of those drivers, Cam Harris, Zach Jenkins, I mean, not to be, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but they're guys at the moment that we wouldn't normally see, or that I wouldn't see, and that I haven't seen near the top at the moment. And it's, you know what? It's a refreshing sight to see, because you just never know what you're going to get when it comes to these big money races.
And there's always one. There's always one guy that, we always talk about the big names of Bergeron and Evan C., Blake Majulis, James Edens, like all we mentioned from that first server. But there's always one or two guys that just kind of sneak in under the radar that really have a great performance in these VLR races. And Connor New was that guy in the modified series. So I expect him to do about the same here in the late models. And Mason Crawford. Mason kind of took a little bit of time away from iRacing for a little bit. He used to be one of the quickest guys on the sim, without a doubt. Anytime you see him load in a server, you want to just load right back out, because you're going to be running second to him at best. So Mason Crawford, another one of those guys, he's gotten back on iRacing a little more as of late. He's quick. Chase Barbara, he's pretty quick as well. Zach Jenkins, he's one to watch. He's another one that can fly under the radar a little bit. And you can never count out a guy like Tanner Tomasi. He's not afraid to get aggressive and march his way to the front, put himself in a spot to win it. And as we mentioned, Colton Herbert, the winner of the Birthday Bash, he's got one thing on his mind, and that's $4,000 on Tuesday night.
don't think he's the only one that's got that $4,000 paycheck on his mind. And again, that's what they are all gunning for. Right now, we are seeing hot laps at the moment. The race control giving directions, giving orders on where they want this racetrack to be to provide the best possible race. And I got to say, Group number 1, it was a fantastic race. We've seen some very good heat racing. We've seen some fantastic B-mains. We've seen 2, 3, 4. I mean, we've even seen 5 wide at times. But with that being said, they've just thrown the checkered flag down on the hot lap session, which means we are about to go qualifying here in just a few moments' time. Group number 2, presented by Medulla C Speed Shop. Again, it's so very much... we are very much happy to have your company here on RaceSpotTV and on the Victory Lane Facebook page. Group number 2 qualifying, getting set to begin in the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bag. See the first car onto the racetrack in car number 23, and that is Chase Barber. He is going to be one to watch as he gets ready. He stands on the gas and gets the green flag. First of 2 laps around the dirt track at Charlotte, Wes.
Yeah, he's going to set the mark to beat here in Speed Ranch Speed Shop qualifying here, as Barbara going to be out there early on in this one. We'll see where he stacks up coming across the line this time by lap number 1 for him. Well, now going to loop it out of turn number 4. And doesn't look like he liked what was going on there.
Now, they've got to be careful because that actually should count as lap number 1, depending on where they come out of the pits. Although looking at that, doesn't look like it. Evan C, 14.987, first driver and the only driver at the moment to go sub 15 seconds. So he is the man to beat Mike Augustine second quick with a make that third quick as Ryan Hodge goes second quick with a 15.058. Logan Rumsey on screen, first lap time with a 15.231. Logan Rumsey third quick with a 15.078. A 15.078 for Logan Rumsey, goes to position number 3. Watching Chase Barber go 5th quick with a 15.141. So right now, Evan C, Ryan Hodge, Logan Rumsey, Mike Augustine, Chase Barber. That's your top 5. Rico Robles on screen in car number 3. Keep an eye on the likes of Colton Herbert, Ethan Toner, James Braswell. Those drivers getting ready to do some laps. Dylan Yeager goes 6th quick. Make that 5th quick there with a 15.089. A 15.089. Rico Robles, first lap, and will be his last lap. And he is, not sure where he's going. Oh, he's going to jump to about position number 10. So your Speed Ranch setups. Qualifying is done. We get ready for the first of 5 heat races. Heat race number 1, brought to you by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Evan C will lead us to the drop of the green flag. Chase Barber will start outside front row. What a front row that is for heat race number 1. Bob Klein rolls off at a position number 2. Zach Jenkins, Klein will start 3. Zach Jenkins will start 4. Jake Silver lines up at a position number 5. Curtis Griffin will start to the outside of the 3rd row from position number 6. Position number 7 will be Jackson Crawford. Grady Ehrman will start from position number 8. Jesse Endigan, the Hunt the Front number 1 machine, will start 9. Gabe Elkins in the 07 will start 10. Jonathan Gaston will start position number 11. Robbie Buchanan Jr., how about that for a bad qualifying effort? He will start position number 12. And shotgun at the back of this field is the man you spoke about a number of times. The birthday bash winner of Colton Herbert will start position number 13. A field of 62 drivers signing into group number 2, presented by Medulla C Speed Shop.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, a tough qualifying run there for Buchanan Jr. and for Herbert, as both of them had their times disallowed. So I'm guessing they grabbed the front stretch wall or something coming to the line. So that's going to be something to watch here in heat race number 1. And as you mentioned, a loaded front row. Evan C going to bring us to the green. Now, the first 3 heat races in server number 1, it was the pole sitter who got the heat race win. That changed in heat race number 4 with Scott Fritz. Well, we see the same thing happen here. Now, looking at the qualifying times as well, quick time in the first server was a 15.0. We see a 14.9 here. So racetrack just a little bit quicker in server number 2.
So, Evan C, the only driver out of the 120 drivers that took to qualifying here in the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bag, was the only driver to go sub 15 seconds with a 14.987. That just goes to show you right now, the tone has been set. I mean, he has a 10th and a half over Chase Barber, who lines up on the outside of the front row. And we know Chase Barber, he's no slouch when it comes to these late models. He knows how to win. He knows how to win these big races. And boy, he's put himself in a good spot. But he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to stay up on the side of that 33 car.
Absolutely, and everything changes well when you go green flag racing with actual like racing conditions around you and other cars. Of course, Evan C will have the control of the field, and he can fire off and have the clean air in front of him. But setting a quick lap compared to keeping that position is two very different things. I'm also going to keep an eye on Jesse Intrican. He didn't have a very good qualifying lap of 15.6, so he's 7/10 off the pace. But he also knows how to get to the front of the pack in that hunt the front #1 machine, as he'll be rolling off 9th in this one.
A lot of storylines developing here for group number 2 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing, live on RaceSpotTV and on the VLR Facebook page. We thank you so very much for your company here tonight. Don't forget, Tuesday night is going to be the big one as well. Someone will walk away with $4,000 in the back pocket. But heat race number 2 brought to you by group number 2 brought to you by Majula C Speed Shop. Heat number 1 brought to you by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. 8 laps on the board. Top 4 to the main event. We are green with Evan C and Chase Barber. And Evan C has already got a 2 and nearly 3 car length advantage going down into the first and second turn.
Evan C trying not to have to worry about the rest of the pack. He wants to get away early, and here comes Bob Klein now. The chef making a big move to the inside of Chase Barber for the second position. Zach Jenkins running there in 4th. We're taking the top 4 to tonight's feature event on the outside looking in. Curtis Griffin and Jake Sylvia make a little contact back there for fifth.
Well, I tell you what, it is on right now as Bob Klein trying to work over Zach Jenkins in the 62 car, as Evan C has got nearly 7/10 of a second on board right now. Curtis Griffin in position number 5. He is on the outside looking in, but he's gonna get by the chef. He's got to cook up something if he wants to get by Bob Klein to put himself into the prelim main event. And even then, they would start from position, what would be number 16, I think it is, in tonight's main event. So there's still a lot of racing still to come as we've just completed what is lap number 3.
Yeah, 7 laps remaining in this one, and it is a breakaway out front for Evan C with Chase Barber right there behind him. They've got about 10 car lengths back to Jenkins. Then it's a 3-car battle for the 2 transfer spots. It's Jenkins, Klein in the 3rd and 4th position. Curtis Griffin staying right there hot on the heels of Bob Klein for the 4th and final transfer spot. See what he can get rolling here in the final half of this one. We're coming to 5 in, 5 to go. Heat race number 1.
Heat race number 1, still Evan C leading the way, watching on screen. Curtis Griffin in that number 22 machine. Still first car on the outside looking in. He will start on pole of one of 3 B mains here later on. Again, still plenty of racing to come here live from the virtual Dirt Track at Charlotte in the VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank. Now watching Bob Klein with a lap and a half to go. Evan C has opened up a monstrous lead, 1.5 seconds back to Chase Barber. Zach Jenkins on screen there in the 62 car, along with the 7 of Bob Klein. White flag is out, 1 lap left to go, Wes.
Yeah, we're coming down to it here. Your time for a pretty well single file. Colton Herbert on the move from 13th to 6th, but he'll come up a little bit short as Evan C will pick up heat race number 1. He'll lead our 40-lap feature to green later on tonight. And server number 2, second will go to Chase Barber, 3rd to Jenkins, and Bob Klein, your 4th and final transfer with Griffin, Herbert, Ehrman, Sylvia, Crawford, Elkins, Gaston, Intrican, Buchanan rounding out your field.
There is heat race number 1 results on screen. Evan C gets the win. He will start on pole of the prelim 40-lap main event. Chase Barber, Zach Jenkins, Bob Klein. Those 4 drivers locking into the prelim, and they've got an opportunity to potentially get into the $4,000 payday on Tuesday night. Curtis Griffin, Colton Herbert, Ehrman, Silva, along with Crawford, Elkins. That is your top 10 in heat race number 1. Then you go back to Gaston, Entikin, and Buchanan, as that is your 13 cars. Where's heat race number 2? That will line up like this.
Yeah, we head to heat race number 2. It'll be Ryan Hodge leading us to green from the inside of row number 1 with Tanner Tomasi outside of him in the 09 machine. Jacob Harbert's in the 80 will make up inside row number 2. Jeffrey West to his outside. Ben Cowdermarsh in the 12 machine will be inside row number 3. Mason Crawford, who said to keep an eye on him, he'll start outside row number 3, outside one of the transfer positions. We head to row number 4. Good buddy of mine, Matt George, going to be trying to make his way to a transfer spot. He'll start inside row number 4 with Chase Short to his outside. Nicholas McDougall and Roland Reese will make up row 5. J.D. Sass, Brady Thompson in row number 6. And I believe your final starter in this one will be Mark Gesford in row number 7 all alone.
All right, here we go. 13 cars. Heat race number 2 brought to you by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Again, night number 1 of the 2023 Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on RaceSpotTV. We've got 4 heat races left, Wes, and I'm going to say it's starting to shape up very nicely here in group number 2.
Yeah, we saw the bottom be very good in the first few heat races in the first server. This time, pretty much everybody was around the top, so we'll see how that plays out here. Racetrack still got quite a bit of speed in it, maybe not as burned up as we saw in the first server. Ryan Hodge, though, we saw domination from Evan C. from the pole position heat race number 1. We'll see if he can do the same in heat race number 2.
Only time will tell. Heat number 2, 8 laps on the board. Top 4 to the 40-lap main event. Here we go. Green flag is up, waves, and it's waving from behind the iRacing flag when we're underway on the dirt track in Charlotte heat race number 2. We'll see Ryan Hodge, Tanner Tomasi go side by side for the race lead. Who's going to have it? It looks like it's going to be Tanner Tomasi, but here comes Hodge down to the inside as they go side by side.
Ryan Hodge wasted a little time getting to the top side. Tanner Tomasi right there with him. No slider inbound for the lead. Tomasi, speed wrench setups 09 machine down the back straightaway side by side. Hodge crosses him over. Here comes Mason Crawford. Where did he come from? He'll take a peek to the inside. We're 3 wide for second out of turn number 4.
Tomasi, Crawford, Harvards again. That's your top 4. Jeffrey West back there in position number 5. But look at Tomasi into the wall. Harvards, Crawford goes on by. Here comes Ben Kalamash in the number 12 machine. We're nearly 3 wide down into turn number 3 and 4. And already the track getting a little difficult to read at the moment. If you're watching, if you've got drivers in heats 3, 4, and 5, I'd really be starting to pay attention to what this racetrack is doing. Kalamash goes to the inside, 3 wide once again. Kalamash on the inside, Tomasi around the outside. That's your battle for 3rd and 4th. Now here comes Harvards back there in position number 5, along with Jeffrey West. So you've got nearly a 4-car pack fighting it out for the final 2 transfer spots.
Countermarsh made a big move there. He started back in the 5th position. He had fallen back to 6th early. Now Tomasi will make contact with Crawford for the 2nd position. Ryan Hodge now checking out from the pack as Tomasi and Crawford go side by side for second battle for the final transfer spot again. Countermarsh going to hold off the battle there as Jeffrey West took a shot to his inside.
Jacob Harvards wondering what's gone wrong right now. We've got 6 down, 2 to run. Meanwhile, Tomasi and Crawford side by side battle for 2nd and 3rd right now. Tomasi goes to the inside. Crawford keeping it upstairs. There's your battle for 5th and 6th on the screen. But right now, Crawford still holding on to the runner-up position. Slider coming from Harvards. As there goes around West around the outside. White flag is out. 1 lap left to go for Ryan Hodge. A commanding lead in heat race number 2.
Well, we saw your pole sitter get the win in heat race number 1, watching the battle for second as they come across the line. Ryan Hodge will win heat race number 2. Second place will go. Great run on the outside. Mason Crawford will come home second. Tanner Tomasi 3rd, and Ben Countermarsh your 4th and final transfer.
Well, heat race number 2 living up to the hype of what we've already seen in what has now been 7 completed heat races out of the 10. Heat number 2 results coming up on screen. Ryan Hodge, Mason Crawford, Tanner Tomasi, and Ben Kalamash will go through to the 40-lap main event. For the likes of West, Harvards, Thompson, George, McDougall, Sass, those drivers going to one of 3 B mains, along with the drivers that finished 11th, 12th, and 13th, which was Short, Reese, and Gesford, as we get set. Heat race number 3. Getting set to take to the racetrack here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Logan Rumsey on the pole position. Tristan Lauder-Sewer on the outside of the front row. Caleb Hutchins in the 10 machine will line up at a position number 3. Deke Keefe, Damien Kiefer from position number 4. It's the 007 and Jacob Fields will start from position number 5, and John Darby lines up the 0 machine from position number 6. Matthew Watts in the 11 will start from position number 7. Cam Harris in the 32 from 8. 5th row inside and outside. Tony Marley in the 117 will start position 9. Alex Nitch will start from position number 10. Michael Taylor lines up at a position number 11, and Tucker Elkins will make up the 12th and final spot in heat race number 3.
So we've seen 2 very different heat races so far there, Brad. First one, pretty well single file. Everybody kind of was minding their P's and Q's. And heat race number 2, not so much. And we'll see if heat race number 3 continues on that trend. As so far, the pole sitters are 2 for 2. And we'll see if Logan Rumsey can do the same. You were singing his praises early on in this one. He'll lead us to the green at a turn number 4 this next time by.
So the iRacing.com official pace truck will take a left-hand turn to the infield. Heat number 3. Brought to you by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Live from the virtual Dirt Track at Charlotte, the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy. Presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing, live on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. We are green off for turn number 4, and Logan Rumsey will lead us to the front stretch.
He's going to have the early lead. Kiefer going to try to shoot the gap here between Hutchins and Ludicura. And looks like Kiefer going to have that lane closed on up. They'll go side by side. The 10 has to go in the binders. He's going to be under fire now from Fields. We give 11-1 to Rumsey.
Oh, look out, 3 wide for second, third, and fourth. Keeper goes right through the middle. A bit of contact there with Hutchins and also Tristan Laudersua. So Laudersua in that 7 machine. He's got the 4th and final transfer spot, but the battle is on between Hutchins and Kiefer. Kiefer not going to be able to have it at the start-finish line. This time we have it down into turn number 1. Who's going to have it off turn number 2? Here comes Jacob Fields in the 007. Now you've got a 3-car battle for second, third, and fourth.
And now the rest of the field has started to catch him too. Here comes Jacob Fields behind him, Matthew Watts, and John Darby right there with him. Only 3 of those guys are going to go to the big show tonight. Keeper takes a peek to the inside. They'll make contact again for second. And here comes Fields around the top side with the 4th and final transfer spot.
Jacob Fields in the 007 machine, the black and pink T1RT car has found his way to position number 4 at the halfway stage of heat number 3, presented by the Dirt Track in Charlotte. Now goes to the middle, had a look to the inside there on Kiefer, but couldn't complete the pass. Tristan Laudersua still back there in position number 5 as Hutchins runs back down to the low side off turn number 2. Your race leader still is Logan Rumsey in that 49 machine, and he is driving away, doing exactly what we've seen in group number 1.
Yeah, as he has started from the drop of the green flag, he's dominated this. We come to 2 to go this time by Keeper right back there in third. Fields holding on the 4th and final transfer spot. Laudersua running right there in 5th on the outside, looking in along with John Darby, as Darby now has lost another spot, this time to Matthew Watts. Fields back under fire as we come to the white flag.
White flag, one lap left to run here for Logan Rumsey to start from position number 3 in the prelim main event. Laudersua looking to the outside now on Jacob Fields. They work off for turn number 2. Fields, little shot in the shorts from behind by Laudersua. They make their way into turn number 3, off for turn number 4. Here comes John Darby trying to make a dive to the inside, but Checkers is out in heat race number 3, and it's going to be Logan Rumsey who gets the win from Caleb Hutchins home in second spot. Damien Keeper third. And you go back to Jacob Fields rounding out your top 4. Tristan Laudersua will be headed to a B main along with Matthew Watts, John Darby, Cam Harris, Tucker Elkins, Alec Nitch. That's your top 10. And of course, 11th and 12th was Michael Taylor and Tony Miley. Heat number 3 is done. Heat race number 4 presented by the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Where's you've got our starting lineup?
Yeah, starting from the pole will be Mike Augustine trying to keep that trend of the pole sitters winning the heat race. I still have Rico Robles to his outside. Row number 2 on the inside, that's Hunter Rich in the 33 machine. Aiden Berlin in the 13, making up outside row number 2. Tyler Burrow in the 35, good qualifying lap for him. He'll start outside of a transfer spot inside row 3 with Cameron King to his outside. We head now to row number 4. The guy we said keep an eye on, Connor New in the 10 machine with Colt Curry to his outside. Row number 9 on the inside, that's Austin Simmelman in the 56. Austin Holder, pair of Austins in row number 5. And Jason Moore and Stephen Gaines will round out your field in row number 6. 12 cars, 8 laps the distance, taking the top 4 once again to tonight's feature event. Qualifying feature, we'll have 3 B mains taking the top 2, 26 cars for 40 laps, top 12 moving on to Tuesday night's finale.
An eye on the 35 car. TB, Tyler Barrow. See what he can do in that TAC 3 defense car number 35 machine on that inside third row. But whereas this is about the time where we've seen in group number 1, this is where the winner of heat race number 4 did not come from the pole position. Will we see history repeat itself here in group number 2?
Well, now when it was Scott Fritz from the 6th starting spot, that's where Cameron King will roll off in this one. So maybe keep an eye on him and keep an eye on Connor New as well coming from 7.
All right, here we go. Green flag is out. 8 laps on the board. Top 4 once again. And we're green already 3 wide down the front straight. And now make it 2 wide. Aiden Beerline didn't get that good of a start there. So he'll now get shuffled back to position number 5 as working to the inside. We'll go 3 wide. Look at this down into turn number 3 and 4. Hunter Rich slides up across the nose of Rico Robles. You got Beerline and Burrow right there to the inside. We'll go 3 wide down into 3 and 4. One more time. Look at this. We're 3 wide. We're only using half of the racetrack.
Yeah, what a race so far in this one as Mike Augustine trying to pull away and keep the trend of the pole sitters winning those heat races happened in the first 3. Right now he's got about a half straightaway advantage in the battle for second. Rico Robles and Hunter Rich duking out. Here comes Burrow now for the final transfer spot as he looks to the inside of Berlin down the back straightaway. Good race in heat race number 4.
Beerline in that 13 machine, looking to the outside on Burrow. Burrow's got it at the start-finish line, so these 2 drivers are battling for that 4th and 5th position on the racetrack. Then you got Connor New in the number 10. He's still lurking there. Just in front of Burrow is a battle between the 3 and the 33. Rico Robles along with Hunter Rich. Meanwhile, your race leader, Mike Augustine. He's starting to check out from the rest of the field. We've got 4 down, 4 to run, and we're still none the wiser of who's going to get that 4th and final transfer spot. At the moment, it is Tyler Barr holding on to that spot, but here comes Connor New in the 10 machine as Connor New now gets around the outside of Aiden Beerline.
Burrow made a line change that last time by. Oh, they'll make contact there. New gets into the left rear quarter pedal. No harm, no foul. Will stay green down the back straightaway. Little hey, how you doing? Keep it moving as New steps to the outside. In 3 and 4, they've comped your 2nd and 3rd place runners as well as we come to 2 to go.
2 to go. Beerline New side by side down into turn number 1 and 2. Again, they're still trying to get by the 35 car of Tyler Burrow. Can he lock it into the prelim main event of 40 laps later on tonight? Oh boy, Burrow got into the back of Rico Robles. White flag is out. 1 to go. Augustine leads from Rich. Robles in 3rd position. Burrow, there he is in the 35K. Here comes Connor New down to the inside, down into turn number 3 and 4. Who's going to have it off turn number 4? It's going to be Burrow's going to hold on. And how about 5th spot will go to Aiden Beerline just at the line. What a battle for 4th, 5th and 6th position for that entire heat race, Wes, but the pole sitter gets the job done. Mike Augustine with the win over Hunter Rich, Rico Robles and Tyler Burrow locking themselves into the main event. Beerline New will go home 5th and 6th. Gaines in 7th. Holder, Curry, Simmelman. That's your top 10. Then you go over to King to come home in position number 11. Your 5th and final heat race of the night. They will line up like this. Dylan Yeager in the 48 from pole to the outside of the front row. The 109 of James Braswell Jr. from 2. From 3, it's the 12 of Alex Bergeron. From 4, it's the 31 of Landon Newman. The 11 car of Cody Nevin starts position number 5. Nicholas Johnson lines up from position number 6. Richard Murtaugh Jr. lines up at a position number 7. Sean Smith from position number 8. John Scott will start from position number 9. Eric Curtis from 10. Then you go back to your final row from positions number 11 and 12. 11th is going to be Tucker Gasman and Ethan Toder. We'll round out the 12-car field here in heat race number 5. Brought to you by Plum Wild Podcast. And we see 5 for 5 with Dylan Yeager on the pole, Wes.
It's very possible. I'm keeping an eye on Dylan Toder, or on Ethan Toder, from the back of the pack, as Toder didn't have a good qualifying lap for him, as his time did not register. He's going to be rolling off from 12th. That's kind of surprising for the 100 machine, as Yeager's going to be hard to beat. There's a solid field in this one. Alex Bergeron from inside row number 2, rolling off from the 3rd spot. He'll be a tough one as well from north of the border.
Talking about drivers that have made every World Championship race, whether it's sprint cars, non-wing, the USAC non-wings, or the late models. Bergeron's a man that has done that as well. In fact, I think he missed a late model. I'll say he's missed one. Anyhow, nonetheless, everyone to keep an eye on as he looks for a $4,000 payday, but they've got to get by the 48 car of Dylan Yeager, heat number 5, brought to you by the Plum Wild Podcast, and We Are Green here at the Dirt Track in Charlotte with Dylan Yeager, and immediately Bergeron went straight up into 2nd position. James Braswell now has got Cody Nevin, a couple of good mates, and a couple of former teammates go side by side for 3rd and 4th.
Got them all fanned out here, almost 4 wide for the 3rd spot across the line. Mercy me, Yeager pulled out to an early lead with Braswell on the outside of a 3-wide sandwich. In the middle, that was Newman in that 31. He's making an aggressive move to the front as we come to complete lap number 2. 6 laps remaining. Yeager still out front.
They're going to say Nevin made an early pass to go into the transfer spot, then probably just getting caught on the bottom of a 3-wide battle. Now he's opted to go upstairs. He'll make a bit of contact there with Nicholas Johnson in the 1 machine. So Nevin on the outside looking in. Landon Newman right now in that 31 car. He's got the transfer spot on lockdown at the moment, but keep an eye on the 11 car of Cody Nevin. Can he make his way inside the top 4? Right now he rides in 5th position, run on the slider line through 3 and 4. Cross flag sticks are out, 4 down, 4 to run.
We saw that as the dominant line there in the heat races in the first server. Not near as good here in server number 2, as right now Newman able to pull away from Nevin for the 4th and final transfer spot, with Braswell still right there in 3rd, Alex Bergeron in 2nd, and Yeager continuing to pull away out front.
Yeager looking very good right now there. Braswell, he's all over the back of the 12 car. Bergeron down the back straight away. They're running single file, coming to 2 to go. Newman still got that 4th and final transfer spot for the moment. Braswell now dives down to the inside on Bergeron. Bergeron now forced to go 3/4 away at the racetrack. You see Cody Nevin still working on the top side, but he'll lose a bit of ground. They'll come to the white flag. Where's 1 lap left to go here in heat race number 5, thanks to Plum Wild Podcast.
Well, we know who's leading the way. Who's going to be the transfers behind him as Braswell drives it in deep. Here comes Nevin, take a shot to the inside of Newman for the final transfer spot. Now we're 3 wide down the back straightaway. Jaeger's going to win it. Battle for second. Newman on the bottom. He gets sideways. That opens the door for Nevin, and Cody Nevin races to the line. He'll grab the final transfer spot. Second goes to Bergeron. Third to Braswell, and what a finish to heat race number 5.
Well, we spoke about Desmond Busby getting lucky with the win there in that main event for group number 1. How about CNEV? Cody Nevin. He goes from the outside looking in. He will go for the final transfer spot. Dylan Yeager gets the win over Alex Bergeron, James Braswell, and Cody Nevin lock themselves into the show. Landon Newman will come home 5th. Richard Murtaugh Jr. comes home in 6th. Ethan Toda, Nicholas Johnson, Sean Smith, Tucker Gassman. Those drivers round out your top 10. John Scott and Eric Curtis will come home 11th and 12th. As B-Main number 1 with 14 cars getting set to take to the racetrack, whereas 10 laps, top 2 will line up in the back of the main event.
We head to row number 1 and B-Main number 1 will be Curtis Griffin in the 22 machine on the pole with Aiden Berlin to his outside. Jacob Harberts, who just came up short of a transfer spot inside row number 2 with Richard Murtaugh Jr. just came home 6th and he race number 5 to his outside. Rolling off from the 5th position, one of the best painters out there, John Darby in the 0 machine with Jake Sylvia to his outside in row number 3. Austin Holder will be flanked by Nicholas McDougall in row number 4. Position number 9 will see Sean Smith, and in position number 10, Alec Nitch in the 127 machine. Jonathan Gaston and Cameron King will make up row number 6 and row number 7. That'll be Roland Reese and Eric Curtis to round out your field. 14 cars, 10 laps of distance, only the top 2 to tonight's qualifying feature.
Yep, and if you're not inside the top 2, well, it's unfortunate because you will not have a chance of making the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy main event presented by Dirt Track Bank. Again, group number 2, you're watching B-Main number 1 of 3. So still 3 B-Mains to run before they scratch the track. They give it a little bit of a freshen up. It'll come back to a fresher racetrack. And then, of course, we will have a warm-up session followed by your 40-lap main event. Still plenty of action to come here live on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. We thank you so very much for your attendance and watching here, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. In the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy. Where's first of 3 B-Mains getting ready to take to the green flag?
As Curtis Griffin will fire off at turn number 4, already going to be 3 wide at the line. Good start for Harberts. He's going to take a peek to the inside of the 13 machine for the second transfer spot down the back straightaway. Griffin has the lead, but here comes Harberts around the bottom.
Let's work into the inside line as Curtis Griffin still your race leader. Keep an eye on the 33 car, Richard Murtaugh Jr. He's on the outside looking, and then you got Aiden Beerline as well, followed by John Darby rounding out your top 5. And boy, I tell you what, here comes Beerline. He's gotten by the 33 car of Murtaugh as they work down into the 3rd and 4th. Then behind Beerline and Murtaugh, they were 3 wide. Darby caught right in the middle of the 3 wide sandwich right now, but Beerline still working to the inside. It's still Griffin and Harberts, your race leader and runner-up.
You see what we like to call them, the hooligan races. You never know what's going to happen. Everybody will start acting like a hooligan trying to get to one of those transfer spots. We're nearly 3 wide for second. Right now, Harberts wants it, Murtaugh Jr. and Berlin won it 2. As down the back straightaway, Curtis Griffin trying to gain a little bit of gap between him and the battle for second. 2-3 car lengths in turn number 3.
Who will get the 2 transfer spots into tonight's main event? Again, your B-Main brought to you by Logan Motorsports. Now Richard Murtaugh diving down to the inside on Jacob Harberts in the middle of turn number 1 and 2. Here comes Beerline as well. 3-1 for the transfer spot down into turn number 3 and 4. Beerline on the bottom slides up. Murtaugh through the middle, and Harberts was on the outside of the 3 wide battle. 5 down, 5 to run here in the first of 3 B-Mains, and it's still Curtis Griffin leading the way from Jacob Harberts and Murtaugh and Beerline. They will go back and continue the battle for 3rd and 4th. We are yellow, and we are under the Cruise Pentagon Esports caution flag.
Our first one in B-Main number 1. Mercy.
Is that our first one for group number 2?
It is. Yeah, first one overall in group number 2.
Go.
McDougall got it in the 127 machine, and the driver of the 05 hard lick to the outside wall and down the back straightaway.
You just seen it there on your Cruise Pentagon Esports instant replay. So Nicholas McDougall in the 05 machine. Fortunately for him, he'll have to go to the tail end of the field if his car's not already taken a beating. But now what that does, Wes, is that brings the field back to double file restart. And with that being said, we'll have 4 laps left to run. If you thought Curtis Griffin was a little nervous, I think he gets a little bit more nervous right now. Lights are still on the pace truck, so we'll send him around one more time before we go green. But Jacob Harberts as well. Again, when it comes to these big money races put on by VLR and everybody behind the scenes, whether it's a birthday bash, whether it's the fall frenzy, spring fling, it doesn't really matter. Jacob Harberts, he's going to be somewhere battling to get into the show. We've seen it time and time again. In fact, I want to say he's actually won a Gobbler race, actually. I'll have to get Weaver onto that one.
Yeah, these VLR races, they mean so much to make. I was setting, we were running a qualifying feature, and I got moved on the last lap of the UMP. I think it was like the Stars and Stripes. It's the 4th of July race. But, like, you can't even describe your heart starts pumping, your blood pressure gets up. You are so focused and so stressed out on trying to hold one of those final transfer spots. And now Harberts and Griffin going to have a hungry field behind him. Murtaugh saved by the caution. He went to the top in 1 and 2. It didn't work out for him as he was about to be under attack for 3rd once again. We're back to green with 4 to go in B main number 1.
Main number 1, as we see Harberts now under some pressure here by Richard Murtaugh Jr. in the 33 machine. Look at one car into the wall. It's the 21 machine. 7 down, 3 laps left to run. Only the top 2 are going to go through. Harberts and Murtaugh, that's your battle for that final transfer spot. But then you've also got Aiden Beeline as well, right there with them, watching these 2 drivers and watch these 2 guys unfold in what could be a fantastic finish to be main number 1.
A little leaning on each other going on there between Murtaugh and Harberts. Is Murtaugh now going to stay around the bottom down the back straightaway? He's going to have the 2nd spot. Here comes Real into the inside of Harberts as well. Now Harberts on the outside looking in. Darby right there in the mix. Oh, no. There goes Harberts around in turn number 4, and he had a little help. That'll bring out the caution flag, and a little late contact there as the field came on through, and Jacob Harberts' night may just be over.
Let's see if we can get that on the Cruise Pedregon Esports instant replay. There it is on screen right now. The 13 car of Aiden Beeline just tags the back of the 80 machine in the rear bumper. Unfortunately, Jacob Harberts, well, that's pretty much going to end his night here at the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. He's already back in the pits, and just wait for Aiden Beeline. In fact, Aiden Beeline is done for as well, so he just pulled the car in. He's out of the race car, and he's already headed to the grandstands.
Yeah, John Darby now, he's going to have a little new life as he was back there in the 5th spot, and now he sees 3rd and 4th exit the raceway, so he's going to restart in that 3rd position with 2 laps to go, green, white, checkered finish. As Richard Murtaugh Jr., now he's going to be the man with the X on his back. Everybody's going to be going for him. Curtis Griffin has led us from the drop of the green, and the pressure's starting to build even more. You've got 2 laps to decide who's moving on to the qualifying feature and whose night and the week is already done.
Lights are out. 2 laps left to run. We send it to overtime in B main number 1. And what has been the 2nd caution of the evening, but also 2nd caution of this B main. The first of 3 B mains. 2 laps, Griffin along with Murtaugh. Can they hold on to the top 2? Darby alongside the 21 car of Austin Holder. The green flag is out, and it's going to be a 4-car breakaway down into turn number 1 and 2. It's going to be Griffin to slide up. Oh boy, look out, Murtaugh. Here comes Holder with 3 wide down into turn number 3. Where's coming to the white flag?
Mercy me. Final lap around. Murtaugh slides up in front of Holder as Holder had the right rear. Murtaugh all the way down the back straightaway. White flag is out. Final lap around. John Darby will take the 2nd spot. Murtaugh, his night is done. He is gone as Holder takes peek at the inside of Darby. Slider inbound right across the nose of the 0. Darby tries to cross him over. We know Griffin's going to win it. There at the race to the line, it's Holder grabbing the 2nd spot. We'll see how they feel about that. As that one got wild, we know those restarts can mean absolutely everything, and it did there. It changed everything as Holder had restarted back in the 4th spot. He grabbed the 2nd final transfer position.
There we go. Curtis Griffin, Austin Holder will get those 2 transfer spots to lock themselves into the main event. Unfortunately for the likes of Darby, Silver, Gaston, those drivers are going home along with Nish, Curtis, Reese, Murtaugh, King to round out your top 10. Then you go back to Harberts, Beeline, Smith, and McDougall. Again, from 3rd on back, we say farewell and good night as we get ready for B main number 2, as Jeffrey West will line up on the pole position. Landon Newman lines up from position number 2. Matthew Watts lines up at a position number 3. Grady Ehrman lines up at a position number 4. 5th will be Stephen Gaines. 6th will be Matt George. Position number 7, Nicholas Johnson and Tucker Elkins lines up at a position number 8. Gabe Elkins will start from position number 9. Austin Semmelman in the 56 will start from position number 10. Chase Short from position number 11. It'll be John Scott lining up from position number 12. And Tony Marley on the back row in position number 13 alongside Robbie Buchanan Jr. from position number 14. RBJ has got a lot of work to do, Wes, and Buchanan to come from 14th. He needs to pass 12 cars to get into the main event tonight. That's a lot of work.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw a couple guys really march their way toward the front in that first server, but no one was really able to get that far up. Needed some cautions to get there. As it's going to be tough. You got a very solid field here. You got guys like Stephen Gaines going to be starting on the outside, looking in back there in 6th. Watch out for him to march his way to the front. And Tucker Elkins and Gabe Elkins rolling off from the 8th and 9th position. They're going to be marching early on in this. They'll be very aggressive from top of the green.
Drop of the green getting set to roll here in Logan Motorsports B main number 2. 10 laps on the board. Top 2. Newman trying to get a jump on the outside, but it's the pole sitter of Jeffrey West on board. Grady Ehrman in that number 43 machine. We'll see what he can do down into turn number 1 and 2 as they work and complete the first couple of turns. We'll see if we can stay clean and green here in B main number 2 thanks to Logan Motorsports.
Jeffrey West going to lead us across the line for lap number 1 with Landon Newman in the second final transfer spot. He pulled to the back bumper, little hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. As now here comes the 11 machine of Matthew Watts down the back straightaway. Watts looking really good. He's going to roll through the middle of turns 3 and 4, drive it up to the cushion. Now he's going to bounce it off the wall, and that opens up the door now for Stephen Gaines. He's already up to 3rd, started 6th.
Well, Gaines is making a move there in that 07 machine. Can Gaines, he now gets to the outside of Landon Newman as they drag race down the back straightaway. Newman on the inside. Here comes Gaines. Sweeps around the outside right through the middle of the racetrack and moves Stephen Gaines into the second and final transfer spot, but not done with just yet. Keep an eye. Where is that 31 car of Robbie Buchanan Jr.? And boy, he is deep in the back of the field. There's no going for that one as we go on board right now with Matthew Watts in the 11 machine. He's on the outside looking in.
Matthew Watts had the second and final transfer spot there for a little while. We got a battle for the lead now brewing as Gaines slides up to the door of Jeffrey West down the back straightaway. That opens the door for Newman. Pre-car breakaway out front. Only 2 going to the big show tonight. Slider inbound by Gaines. He pulls it on back. West going to carry the momentum. He'll continue to lead as we're halfway through. 5 in, 5 to go. Caution on the speedway.
Caution. Cruz Pedregon Esports caution flag here in B main number 2 thanks to Logan Motorsports. I believe it's the 31 car of Robbie Buchanan Jr. Take a look at the Cruz Pedregon Esports instant replay. So keep an eye on the 31 car. Just slides up right across the nose of the 7 car and Buchanan goes around, and I think that'll be put on Robbie Buchanan Jr. there. And I don't think Chase Short, I think it was Chase Short in the 7 car. Yes, it was Chase Short. He had nowhere to go on that one and couldn't pull it up, but it'll bring us to the Cruz Pedregon Esports yellow flag. Robbie Buchanan Jr. is at fault for that one. He's already at the back anyway, so where's getting this caution with what will be 4 laps left to run. We've seen what it did in the final couple of laps of B main number 1. How is it going to, can it change again for B main number 2?
Well, you know, they always like to say cautions breed cautions, and that gives a guy a chance to maybe falling on back like the 43 machine as Grady was battling for the transfer spot in turn 1 and turn 2 on lap number 1. Then he got shuffled on back to the 6th position. Now he's got a new life. He can try to step to the outside of Newman. Newman, who was so close to a transfer spot, lost that position in the heat race with just a couple laps remaining. He's going to be on the outside looking in. And Matthew Watts, he's not afraid to move around as well. He's been on the top, the bottom, and the middle of this racetrack. He'll restart from inside row 2.
All right, so the lights are still on the iRacing.com pace truck as West alongside Stephen Gaines. Talking about movers and shakers through this field. Stephen Gaines, 3rd row. On the inside, he started from position number 5. He's been able to move up to position number 2. And I'm going to say he done it somewhat fairly quickly as well. But now it's a matter is can he hold on? Can he hold on to a top 2? Because that is the ultimate goal right now as we're going to go double file on this restart. Jeffrey West has the field in hand. Pace truck is off. Jeffrey West, can he hold on? 4 laps, Wes? 4 to go.
And we're back to green flag action. Not a good start for Watts. He's going to get turned sideways. Oh, and his night's probably over. He just took a shot from the back of the field. Caution flag flies once again. The Cruise Petragon Esports caution flag back out. We'll have to take a look at the replay to see what happened there. But Watts tried to fire from the inside of row number 2. The car got sideways. Might have hit a slick patch. Used a little too much throttle, and now his night's over.
Fortunately for him, he's done. Matthew Watts being given the end-of-line penalty on that line. So, just seeing your Cruise Petragon Esports instant replay. And quick back-to-back caution, but we still should go back to double file. But whereas what that actually does as well is that actually, although we didn't technically complete the lap, it's still going to count as a completed lap, because once we go back to green, with the caution laps not counting, it freezes on the 7th lap. So once we go back to green, that completes that lap. That's essentially, that's one lap that these top 2 drivers don't have to worry about, and now they can focus on what will be 3 laps left to run instead of 4.
Yeah, no, now we got the fight that we always have whenever we're at any racetrack around the country. You got somebody that doesn't want to fall back in the line. We're 3 wide back there in that second row to figure out who goes where, as they've got to follow what iRacing and Race Control is telling them. We're doubled back up, and it'll be West and Gaines leading us back to green with 3 laps remaining in B main number 2.
B main number 2, top 2 going to go through, and that is right now. The 11 of Jeffrey West along with, oh boy, West got a little tight. We're going to go caution. Now that was.
What about that run from Nicholas Johnson? I mean, there's the cushion, and then there's what he was running right up on the fence, and he rocketed around there looking like Ross Chastain in 1 and 2.
I was just trying to listen to what Race Control was thinking there. I did hear they mentioned Tucker Elkins in that 87 machine, but I don't think he did. Looking at going back and just looking at that, there wasn't really anything that was done wrong, done differently. So Race Control obviously not happy with it. So again, we throw that yellow. It freezes lap 8. And Jeffrey West and Stephen Gaines, now they've done 2 laps out of the 4 under the yellow flag conditions. And I mean, it's just one of those things, right? That happened. You know, stuff is always going to happen, especially when it comes to these big money races. Everybody vying and trying to battle for a $4,000 payday, and it all starts in your prelim, in your group, whether it's group 1 or whether it's group 2. Again, right now we're in group number 2. We're in B main number 2 of 3, thanks to Logan Motorsports. So after this one is done, we'll have a B main, the 3rd B main, the warm-up session, and then our 40-lap main event. And then once that is done, then we can take a break Monday night, come back on Tuesday night for what will be a very, very spectacular night of racing here live from the dirt track at Charlotte.
Absolutely. So we'll stay under caution for 1 more lap. We'll get this one back underway. And as you mentioned, with that caution like that, that takes it back down to the 2 laps remaining in this one. So if Jeffrey West can get a good start, that makes it a lot easier for him to get his transfer spot. You can't make the show on Tuesday without making the feature here tonight. So that's when these guys are not giving a single inch to anybody, as they're going out there and they're trying to get everything they can. Sometimes that's to the dismay of another driver, as we've seen a couple times throughout this B main. Let's see what happens. The pace truck pulls the infield. We're going to have a 2-lap dash to decide your 2 transfers from B main number 2.
Logan Motorsports B main number 2, back to the green flag with the 11 machine of Jeffrey West. Green flag is out. Stephen Gaines, Landon Newman, they'll go side by side, keep it on the 87. 3 wide for the race lead, if you don't mind, through turn number 1 and 2. And it's still West on the top side of the racetrack. Newman on the inside. Gaines goes right through the middle. Newman going to lose a chance at the chance for the transfer spot. The white flag is out. We'll go 3 wide down into 1 and 2 one more time. Jeffrey West leading down the back straightaway for the final time. He's got ice in his veins into turn number 3, off for turn number 4, down low. West gets into the wall. Gaines goes on by. They drag race to the line. Gaines has got it. Gaines stole it at the line.
Wow, 7 1/1000ths of a second between Gaines and from mercy me. From Jeffrey West. West had it 1, and then he goes through turns 3 and 4, puts her in the fence, stays in the throttle, and able to hold on to the final transfer spot. What a mess that one was.
Stephen Gaines wins by 8 1/1000 of a second, awarding the official timing and scoring over Jeffrey West. Those 2 drivers going through to the prelim 40-lap main event. For the likes of Newman, Johnson, George, we say farewell, good night, along with Elkins, Ehrman, another Elkins, Semmelman, Sean making up your top 10. 11th went to Scott, Miley, Watts, and Buchanan Jr. finishing back there in 14th. Where's B-Main number 3? Thanks to Logan Motorsports, our final B-Main. Let's take us through your starting lineup.
Starting on the pole, that'll be Tristan Laudeser in the 092 machine, really the 7 car to his outside. The obviously keep an eye on, didn't have a good qualifying lap, had to start at the back of his heat race. Able to roll off from outside row number 1 be Colton Herbert. Connor New inside row number 2 in the 10 car with Brady Thompson to his outside in the 27. Ethan Toder, another guy had to come from the back of his heat. He'll start inside row number 3 with Cam Harris to his outside. Starting in the 6th position, Jackson Crawford. Colt Curry will make up row number 4. JD Sass going to have some work to do in the 022 machine. He'll have Tucker Gassman to his outside. Staying on the gas to try to get to a transfer spot. Michael Taylor, Jesse Interkin will make up row number 6. And Mark Gesford and Jason Moore in row number 7.
Final B-Main. Thanks to Logan Motorsports. Group number 2. Tristan Laudeser. Colton Herbert, the front row. Connor New. Ethan Toder. We've already spoken about a couple of those guys. How about Jesse Endigan from the back of the bus as well? We know what we're going to get from these guys. We know it's going to be an absolute barn burner. The bells are going to be rung. Who is going to go through to the 40-lap main event? Final B-Main. 10 laps is on the board. And Tristan Laudeser will lead us to the drop of the green flag. Connor New immediately goes up the inside there of Colton Herbert. And he'll take over the runner-up position through turn number 1 and 2.
Connor New has it. Colton Herbert wants it. Herbert going to step back to the outside. Connor New now peeking to the inside for the lead. Got 3, 4, 5, 6 cars right there together for the transfer spot. Keep it on that 00 machine. Ethan Toder in the Freddie Smith throwback taking a peek to the inside of Herbert for the 3rd spot. And now he's marching his way toward a transfer position.
Toder rolls the inside through turn number 3 and 4 in that 00 machine. He's got 3rd at the start finish line. Meanwhile, challenges up for the race lead. Connor New goes to the inside of Tristan Laudeser in that 17 machine. Wheel to wheel, side by side for 1st and 2nd, side by side for 3rd and 4th. Where do you want to look? I know where I want to look. I want to look for the battle for the race lead. Tristan Laudeser has still got it. Oh boy, New slides up the racetrack, slides up across the nose of the 89 machine of Colton Herbert as Herbert now ducks down to the inside, down into turn number 3. Is he going for the daily double? Yes, he is. Slide now engaged. The trigger's been pulled, and we're 3 wide off turn number 4. Connor New, your new race leader.
He takes advantage of the double slider there from Herbert, and now Connor New out front, 3 wide down the back straightaway for the 2nd spot. As Ethan Toder going to slide up on the bottom, he thought about the double slider as well. He'll get into the side of Laudeser as Colton Herbert has the 2nd final transfer position. Connor New trying to check out away from the field. 2-car breakaway out front.
New and Herbert running 1 and 2. Meanwhile, here comes the 27B car of Brady Thompson. He snuck up inside the top 5, but there is the 00 machine of Ethan Toder still working in position number 4. Cam Harris back there in 5th and 6th position as well. There is, look at that, 4th, 5th, and 6th on screen there as it's Toder trying to run down Laudeser as Laudeser is trying to track down Colton Herbert. Top 6, they've all gone to the top side. Where's and boy, can't wait for the warm-up session. Once we get this track reset back to a fresh race shape, it's going to be a whole different ball game as we complete lap number 8 with 2 laps left to run for Connor New.
The top's getting awful treacherous. Connor New up in the fence. That's going to cost him some ground as now looks like Toder will make contact with Laudeser. They'll stay stuck together, and that's going to give the spot to Brady Thompson still on the outside looking in as 4 cars duke it out for the 3rd position. Ain't going to help you a bit. Just bragging rights there. Laudeser double slider for 3rd. Parks it on the nose of Toder as we come to the white flag. No caution out there, and it'll be a 2-car breakaway to the finish.
Yeah, because we got the white flag, we will run it out to the start-finish line. It's going to be into 3 and 4. Connor New slides it from the bottom to the top, and Connor New will break away and come away victorious here in B-Main number 3, thanks to Logan Motorsports. Colton Herbert will get that 2nd and final transfer spot. Good run from Brady Thompson to come home 4th. Tristan Laudeser, 3rd Thompson, Laudeser 5th. Cam Harris is going to round out your top 5. There is your results on screen. Jesse Endigan from 12. He'll find his way to position number 6. JD Sass in 7. Jackson Crawford, Colt Curry, Tucker Gassman will round out the top 10. We go back to 11th. He's going to be Mark Gesford, Michael Taylor, Ethan Toder, a lap down along with Jason Moore for the 14 cars. But whereas we have gotten through a total of 10 heats, 6 B-mains. We've had 1 prelim main event. We've just had the track being re-scratched, resurfaced to a fresh racetrack. There'll be no rubber down on the racetrack whatsoever. And these cars, they'll have a few minutes, but our field is set. Our 26 starters get ready to do battle for 40 laps in group number 2 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing, live on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. We know what we're seeing in group number 1. What can we expect in group number 2?
I think going to be a lot more of the same. I mean, we're going to see wild sliders. We're going to see side-by-side action, 3-4 wide throughout the pack. You've got some guys coming from back in the pack that were just very impressive in their heat races and V mains. As Connor knew, you got Colton Herbert to watch. Colton Herbert, of course, the winner of the Birthday Bash. They'll be starting back in 23rd and 25th after coming out of V main number 3 there. Jeffrey West, he looked very good. Stephen Gaines as well. And then you got a very solid field up front with Evan C., of course, the man everybody's kind of shooting for in this whole race, as he, of course, was the winner of the Spring Fling. He was your champion in the Award of Outlaws series as well, and he will lead the field to green for 40 laps. We saw a bunch of changes happen in that first server. I expect no different here in server number 2.
Well, can he go a couple of spots better than what his teammate did of Blake Majulis, who started on pole of the feature event, but the big storyline to come from that one was Desmond Busby picked up the win from what was the 6th starting position. Can we see something like that happen? And if we go back to the 6th starting spot in this one, it belongs to a guy called Chase Barber in the number 23 machine. We both know that Chase is very, very quick in a super label here on the iRacing.com, so not to take away from the fact that the guys that he's got around him, Evan C., Ryan Hodge, Logan Rumsey, Mike Augustine, Dylan Yeager, then you go back behind him a little bit, Mason Crawford, then you throw in the likes of Alex Bergeron, Tanner Tomasi, Damian Kiefer, James Braswell, Jacob Fields, Tyler Burrow, Cody Nevin. I mean, go back a little further. Your third B main winner, Connor New. How far can he get up through the field? It's all about trying to solidify themselves in that top 12 to lock themselves into that $4,000 payday on Tuesday night.
Absolutely, as it's going to be a very interesting race here. We'll see who tries to go from the get-go, who tries to play it conservative a little bit. We saw in those B mains, a couple guys kind of hung back a little bit, waited for their opportunity, and we saw a couple who were able to fire early and get to the transfer spots and then just kind of check out away from the field. It's going to be interesting to see the different strategies played out here. Like we said, tire wear is going to be a little bit of an issue. Do you go a little bit higher on the tires to make them fire a little bit earlier and then fade late in the race? Do you kind of wait it out a little bit? If you're one of those front guys, you've got to go from the drop of the green. Like Evan C., you've got to set the pace and then not worry about everybody else behind you.
There's a whole bunch of things that we can talk about and a whole lot of storylines that is going to develop over the next 40 laps. But with that being said, what we'll do here on RaceSpotTV, here on the Victory Lane VLR Facebook page, we're going to take a quick, short 3-minute break, and then we'll come back with your 40-lap main event on the other side of this. You're watching the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing. This is group number 2, presented by Majula C. Speech Up, live on RaceSpotTV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
inside. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As that's still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to the 2023 Victory Lane race in the VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank on iRacing. Group number 2, live right here on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. Brett Wheeler, joined alongside Wes Gwaltney. Wes, the field is set for group number 2 as these drivers fight for 12 transfer positions, exactly what we've seen in group number 1, where we've already locked in 12 drivers to that main event on Tuesday night, and then the rest of the drivers, they go through to the last chance qualifier. These drivers, they've still got an opportunity. 12 will go and lock into the main event. The other drivers, they will go through into the last chance qualifier, and then they fight for what I believe will be 2 transfer spots to lock in a 26 car field come Tuesday night. 100 laps, a $4,000 payday. A lot on the line for these drivers, not only Tuesday night, but it all culminates and it all starts here right now.
Yeah, to be the show, you got to be in the show, as I said earlier, and that's exactly going to be the case here. You got to get one of those 12 spots in this feature event. And there's a lot of things going to happen here. You got to keep your nose clean. That's a big part of it, especially with the damage model on iRacing. As any little bit of damage, we saw a couple cars like Desmond Busby who had nose damage and was still able to stay up there and had enough speed. Then we saw another couple guys like Scott Fritz in that first race. But once he got damaged and kind of beat around a little bit, his car faded so much that he kind of fell on back of the pack and got caught up in another mess. So you got to keep your nose clean, but at the same time, you got to be aggressive. You got to know when to throw the slider, maybe throw a double slider. You might have to cut people off a little bit, but you got to be courteous at the same time because it comes back to bite you sometimes as well.
Absolutely. Again, a big thank you to everybody involved for making this 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy happen, presented by Dirt Track Bank, live on RaceSpotTV, not only tonight, but of course on Tuesday night. Big thank you, of course, Spartan Transportation, Dirt Track Bank for being the title sponsor and the presenting sponsor, caution sponsor and the replay sponsor, sponsored by Cruise Pedregon Esports, the Night 1 presenting sponsor, Majula C Speed Shop. Then, of course, we've got our individual sponsors for the heat races. Qualifying will start with, of course, Speed Ranch Setup Shop. Then you've got the heat race sponsors, heats 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thanks to the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Heat 5, brought to you by Plum Wild Podcast. A B-main sponsor, Logan Motorsports. We've already seen Group 1. Of course, that was sponsored by Spartan Transportation. And Group number 2 main event about to go green very, very shortly. Thanks to Stephen Whitaker Racing. Not to be outdone by those companies and everybody involved behind the scenes that made this possible for those sponsors to come on board. But of course, individual lap sponsors. 100 laps that were sold to individuals. So on behalf of the VLR team and on behalf of the Spartan Transportation, everybody behind the scenes that make this possible, thank you everybody for making all this a wonderful, wonderful occasion. Again, we are not too far away from rolling into the main event for group number 2, presented by Stephen Whitaker Racing. And looking at the times, Evan C, quickest by nearly a tenth of a second. Wes, I guess that really doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, it's just showing everybody in this field that he's got pace already from the get-go.
Yeah, and Evan C knew he had to come out here and perform. Of course, winning the Spring Fling back in June, and then topping that with the iRacing Pro Series Championship, and then winning the UMP Modified Championship as well just the other day from the VLR UMP Series. So he knew that everybody was gunning for him, and he had to come out, and there's a lot of expectations for him to continue what he's doing. And now he's seen what his teammates have done in the other races. From that first server, he knows everybody's gunning for him. The good news for him is he's rolling off from the pole. He can set the pace. He can kind of get clear from the field, figure out what is the best line, and hopefully break away from the field. And for his sake, for everybody else, they want him to stay right there in their grasp as they would love to dethrone the champion.
Well, can they dethrone Evan C? They've already dethroned Blake Majulis in group number 1. Of course, that was the win going to Desmond Busby. James Eaton's got second, and Blake Majulis ended up with a third place finish. And we all heard the interview. Majulis, it's safe to say he wasn't too happy after the outcome of that one, but you've got to take that away. You've got to wipe the slate clean, because now not only does his attention focus to Tuesday night, but if you're in Blake Majulis, if you're any one of those top drivers, the 26 drivers that just made group number 1 serve a main event, if you're in their shoes, what are you looking for right now in this group, but also in this racetrack?
It's kind of going to see what the racetrack's going to do over time. I mean, we're really going to see about the same racetrack tomorrow night. It'll be a lot fresher for those guys as they try to race into the LCQ. Now, if you're one of those guys who transferred on in, now you're watching to see where maybe somebody that your teammate or something in server number 2, where they're running at, what changes they've made to their race car to be a little bit better. Because who knows, tomorrow night the track prep may be a little bit different. They may just let it go from fresh, may roll it in pretty good. So you're keeping an eye on that. You're keeping an eye on certain people as well, and seeing who can really make different lines work. We saw the top side get a little more treacherous there here in server number 2 than we did in server number 1 in turns 3 and 4 as guys were putting her in the fence. I mean, we saw a couple people almost lose races because of that, especially over in B main number 1 whenever we had a drag race to the line for the top 2 spots. But we saw that happen. And then 1 and 2, we also saw that the line moved a little closer to the wall. Nicholas Johnson, who didn't even make it in through his B main, but he had marched his way toward one of those transfer spots by just absolutely rolling the top. So you got to see what the racetrack's going to do, see how tacky it stays, and see how the tires do as well. It's 40 laps compared to 100 tomorrow night, but you want to make sure that at the end of the race you're still able to be there and possibly win that $4,000.
We've spoken about tire wear over the past couple of builds and what it's going to mean and what it's going to take for these drivers not only to win tonight but also come Monday night. Something that I want to touch on as well, and we'll touch on if we get a Cruise Pedigree on esports caution, is the engine restrictions. I do want to touch on that, but before we touch on that, I think we're going to go and take a look at the starting grid for the 26 drivers that will take to the racetrack. On the pole position, driving car number 33, that is Evan C. To the outside of the front row, Ryan Hodge from position number 2. The 41 of Logan Rumsey rolls off at a position number 3. Mike Augustine will start from position number 4. 5th heat race winner of Dylan Yeager will start from position number 5, and he's outside. The 23, Chase Barber from position number 6.
We'll head to row number 4 on the inside. That'll be the 15 machine of Mason Crawford with the 10 machine of Caleb Hudgens to his outside. Hunter Rich and Alex Bergeron will make up row number 5. And starting inside your last transfer spot, Zach Jenkins and Tanner Tomasi will make up row number 6, starting 11th and 12th.
Damian Kiefer will start from position number 13. Rico Robles will start from position number 14. 15th to be the 109 car of James Braswell Jr. To his outside, the chef, Bob Klein, will start from 16. Ben Calamarsh at 12 will start from position number 17. In the 18 starter, it's the 007 machine of Jacob Fields.
We head back to row number 10, where it'll be Tyler Burrow in the 35, looked very impressive in his heat race, flanked with Cody Nevin in the 11 to his outside, the 20th starting spot. Curtis Crippen, the B-main winner, joined by Stephen Gaines in the 07, and Connor New and Austin Holder in row number 12.
And your 13th and final row in car number 11, it is Jeffrey West from position number 25, and your birthday bash winner in car number 89 from position number 26, that is Colton Herbert. So group number 2 is locked and loaded here at the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. 26 cars, 12 transfer to Tuesday nights. $4,000 to win. Spartan Transportation, Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank, live here on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. It is time to go racing here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Evan C gets on the gas. Let's get naughty for 40. Keep an eye on Ryan Hodge, so very, very good speed in heat race number 2 earlier on tonight. Down there goes Logan Rumsey, looking down to the inside as they look to complete the first lap.
Evan C will take lap number 1. That is a Hornet's Nest behind him. We're 3 wide back there for 3rd. That is going to be Ryan Hodge, Mike Augustine, and Dylan Yeager. 3 wide back there now for the 6th spot, too, with Chase Barber, Hunter Rich, and Mason Crawford racing all over this track as Evan C pulling away to an early lead. Still a great battle behind him.
Yeah, fantastic battle all throughout this field, all ready to start off the opening couple laps of group number 2 main event server. 40 laps again is the distance. Evan C, Logan Rumsey, Mike Augustine. Then you go back to Ryan Hodge, Dylan Yeager. Hodge and Yeager go side by side down the front straightaway. Now here comes Mason Crawford, Chase Barber in that mix as well. Hunter Rich looking as well, so you can really throw a blanket from about 4th on through to about 8th right now. And again, look at this, they go 3 wide off turn number 4. How do you do? The opening 4 laps is really starting to heat up already. We've still got 36 to run.
You take Evan C out of this race, you've got a Jim Dandy of a show behind him. As Dylan Yeager now going to throw a slider inbound on Hodge for the 4 spot. He'll slide on up. Now he's going to be back under fire. 3 wide, Hodge down to the bottom. Actually going to think better of it was of Caleb Hutchins back there in the 10 machine, along with Mason Crawford, who is marching his way up there. 5 cars, a little beating and banging going on. Bumper car action. Ryan Hodge going to go 4 wide back to the pack. That is a battle for the 4th position.
Well, I tell you what, yesterday we spoke about it. They're all in a transfer spot, but they don't want to give up the spot because that one spot is 1 row. Yeager goes through the middle. Crawford to the inside. Now you go back to Hunter Rich on the outside, just in front of them. Here's a 23 car, nearly 4 wide once again into turn number 1 and 2, and we're still 3 wide. What an entertaining start to this one. And boy, we've still got 32 laps left to run here in the main event.
3-car breakaway early in this one. They are still duking it out like they're racing for that $4,000 payday right now. Slider inbound for Barbara as Hodge going to cross it back over. Hunter Rich down on the bottom. He'll slide into the 5th position. Hodge going to try to separate himself from that battle. He says, boys, I'm tired of this. I'm going to get gone. As here comes Mason Crawford once again. Early driver on the move. Tanner Tomasi up 3 positions from 12th to 9th, and he's going to join the battle, bringing Damian Kiefer with him.
Not only Kiefer, but keep an eye on Jenkins and Bergeron as well. They're just outside the top 10. Bergeron and Jenkins, they battle for that 11th and 12th position on the racetrack. And again, that is that all-important bubble spot. More importantly, we're still 3 wide. Look at the slider there on. That's Crawford. No, sorry, that's the 19 car of Hodge. He copped the slider from the 23 car of Chase Barber. And we're still 3 wide off turn number 4. Evan C, Logan Rumsey. Evan C's got some company right now with Logan Rumsey. Just a couple of tenths of a second. Meanwhile, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, the 9th position. Yet you can still really throw a blanket. Even 10th spot is Damian Kiefer. And they're still 2 and 3 wide. But that battle is starting to loom for the race leaders. We still now go on board with Alex Bergeron, who is at the moment in a transfer spot. Oh boy, ducking and diving there to the inside. He nearly caught the accident there, but was managed to avoid that one as we stay green.
And Crawford and Kiefer made a little contact there, a little tail slap. Kiefer got up in the fence, and that'll cost him wholesale positions as he's falling all the way back through the pack. As we continue to watch battles all over the speedway, battle for the lead starting to brew once again. Logan Rumsey staying right there with Evan C. Hasn't really pushed the issue yet. Battle for 3rd once again. It's Hunter Rich to the inside of Chase Barber, executing for the 4th spot. He's bringing Tanner Tomasi with him. Tomasi on the move, 12th to 7th, nearly going to this one. Hunter Rich as well from 9th to 4th.
We're just on board with the 49 car of Logan Rumsey, who was trying to track down your race leader of Evan C. I said it at the top of the show of group number 2, that Evan C and Logan Rumsey. Logan Rumsey, he's been able to do what Evan C has done, although roles reversed from going from sprint cars and to late models. He's by far one of the top 5 drivers on the iRacing.com service, and the young kid from Pennsylvania can really start to wheel a race car, and he still puts the pressure right now on Evan C as they work through turn number 3 and 4. Still a great battle going on for about that 5th and 6th position. They still continue to go side by side, but it is still Evan C out in front from Logan Rumsey.
Right now, Evan C just trying to hit his marks, keep Rumsey right there behind him, make Rumsey pull out a line. Rumsey says, hey, I'll just play your game. I'll wait till you make a mistake, and I'm going to try to get by you there, Evan, and then I'm going to try to dethrone the king. As Rumsey pulls the back bumper, rolls out of it, tries to diamond down the back straightaway. Still great battles all over the racetrack right now. Chase Barber, Hunter Rich still side by side with the 4 spot. Tanner Tomasi in their footsteps, running back in 6th. Hodge going to throw a slider now on Yeager for the 7 spot. Yeager up into the fence. That's going to bunch up Bergeron in the process. As we look at the 12th and final spot right now, that is Rico Robles in the 3. He is in the final transfer position with Damian Kiefer right behind him, and James Braswell Jr. on the outside looking in.
Bergeron with a deep slider there on Yeager. They make a bit of contact now. To the inside goes the 19 car. And look at this. They're going to go slide job city. Once again, that's Ryan Hodge at the 19. 3 wide off turn number 2. If you don't mind, once again, Wes, we're seeing a lot of 2 and 3 wide action. Nearly catching the inside track the time was Alex Bergeron in the 12, and we're almost 4 wide as Mason Crawford tries to throw his hat into the mix.
Yeah, Mason Crawford thought better of it. Is now Bergeron going to throw the slider on Hodge. Jaeger going to try to pull away from them on the top side. Bergeron goes back to top in 3 and 4. Rich slider inbound on Barber. Doesn't clear him by much. Now we're almost going to be 4 wide again. This time Mason Crawford sticks to his guns. On the bottom of the racetrack, Bergeron slider inbound on Jaeger. Jaeger bounces her off the wall. He's going to have to give up the spot. 4 cars duking it out. Here comes Zach Jenkins now. Jenkins was back in 11th. He's going to get by Crawford. He's going to look to get by Hodge. And Ryan Hodge on a little bit of a slide early in this one. 23 laps complete, 17 to go.
I tell you what, you think we're racing for $4,000 right now? No, we're not. We're racing for a spot to get into the show, but these drivers, they are already locked into the main event if they were to stay in those positions. Still keeping an eye on Evans C, who's driven away from Logan Rumsey just a little bit, but Jaeger with a huge Hail Mary, and I feel like we're about 4th and 25 right now. Hail Mary plays being thrown. They're down by about 8 points, and they're still trying to throw Hail Marys. Bergeron gets clear there of Jaeger in turn number 3 and 4, and now Jaeger has to sit in behind the number 12 machine. Then you go back to the 19 of Hodge, sitting in 9th position. 10th is Zach Jenkins. Not far behind them, Rico Robles and Mason Crawford. How about Connor New from near the back of the field? And he's made his way to position number 13. And boy, he's got a real shot at getting into this main event.
Jenkins gets up into the fence there, and so does Robles in the 3 machine. Now he's going to fall back to 12th. Here comes Connor New all the way back from 23rd to 13th. He's up 10 spots. Now he's tossing his name in the hat. 4 cars right there for 3 spots into Tuesday night's feature event. Still watching that battle out front as Rumsey has not let Evans C get away.
Boy, Connor New, he is just selling some t-shirts upstairs. He is throwing everything, including the kitchen sink. And now we go on board. He's got Robles down to the inside. He's all over the back of the 62 car of Jenkins as Jenkins drifts up. New goes down to the inside. Will not make it 3 wide down the back straight away. New chops the nose off the 3 car. He'll slide it up, tags the back of the 15 car of Crawford, I think it was. Yes, it was in the 10th spot. And New, Jenkins gets by New back all over the back of the 62 car as they work down into turn number 3 and 4. Your race leader is now approaching lap traffic, and we are 30 down, 10 to run. Oh boy, contact there on the start finish line, and we're still clean and green. Do we start to think about it, Wes?
I don't know. We're going inside 10 laps to go as Logan Rumsey still all over the back bumper of Evans C. He's got a lap car in between him and the 49 machine. Lap traffic can make things awful wild as they're all over this racetrack. They're still racing for position, a better starting spot, one of those LCQs. Connor New has been the class of the field. Him and Jenkins still duking out for the 11th position. We've got some hungry drivers right there behind him. Jacob Fields making a late race charge in this one. He wants one of those 12 transfer spots.
Battle for the lead, the 49 car of Rumsey to the inside on Evans C down into turn number 3 and 4. They've got the lap car to the outside, and that is the 22 car of Curtis Griffin. There's Jeffrey West, the lap car as well. We've got 7 to run as they work down the back straight away, and lap traffic is really going to play a factor in this one. Who will it help? Will it help Logan Rumsey? Will it help Evans C? Time will tell. 6 to run, 3 wide with lap cars on the outside, nearly 4 wide. Rumsey back down to the inside. Rumsey's got the lead. Can Logan Rumsey, can he hold on to this one? But here comes Evans C back to the outside. They'll race off turn number 4. Who's going to have it on the line? Rumsey will lead lap number 35. 5 to go, Wes.
PSG, please stay green down the back straightaway. C's going to have the edge back around Rumsey and through the middle of the racetrack. Now he steps to the outside of the 10 car of Hudgens, try to put him a lap down. Rumsey, does he have anything left? Is he holding a ace up his sleeve to try to get by Evans C? This time Rumsey goes to the top shelf. He's been running the middle the whole race long. 3 car lengths separate your top 2 down the back straightaway with 4 to go.
Coming to 3 to go for the 33 car of Evans C. He's got Ben Calamash in the 12 machine. He is going to be another lap car that could play havoc in this one. Not too much playing havoc, but it could change the outcome. Rumsey caught the wall in the middle of turn number 1 and 2. Coming to 2 to go.
Just 2 laps remaining in this one. Lap traffic is making this thing wild. We saw a crazy finish green, white, checkered. This one, we've gone green from the drop. We've gone clean and green from the drop of the green flag back on lap number 1. Rumsey going to make contact with Countermarsh, and that ruins chance to win. Starts in the outside pole Tuesday night's 4,000 win feature event. White flag is out, final lap around.
Final time here at the dirt track in Charlotte in group number 2, and we go flag to flag down the back straightaway for the final time. Burrow, the slower lap car on the back straightaway into 3 and 4 for the final time. The 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy group number 2 main event win goes to Evan C. What a race. As we go flag to flag, we had probably a handful of cautions in group number 1. But group number 2 just showed the boys in group number 1 how to do it clean and green for 40 laps. And it was Evan C. to come away victorious ahead of Logan Rumsey. And we can only talk about that battle in lap traffic between Rumsey, C. Rumsey got the better on the couple of those laps, but it was Evan C. who was cool, calm, and collected to get back by Logan Rumsey. Let's take a look at your official results about to come up on your screen. Evan C. will be confirmed your winner here tonight for group number 2, thanks to Majula C Speed Shop. Logan Rumsey home in second spot, and another Pennsylvanian home in third. That'll be the 19 car of Mike Augustine. Hunter Rich will grab fourth. Tanner Tomasi locks into a top 5 finishing position. Chase Barber in 6th. Dylan Yeager will come home 7th. Alex Bergeron 8th. Ryan Hodge 9th. To round out the top 10 and to lock themselves into the main event is going to be Mason Crawford. To come home position number 11, he done it from position number 23, going plus 12 positions. Your hard charger tonight is Connor New, and getting that 12th and final transfer spot into the main event on Tuesday night is Jacob Field. For the likes of Jack Jenkins, Rico Robles, James Braswell, who comes home 15th, Cody Nevin, Stephen Gaines, Bob Klein, Colton Herbert, Ben Calamarsh, your top 20, and Calamarsh finished a lap down. Those drivers will go to the last chance qualifier. 21st will be Tyler Barrow, Curtis Griffin 22nd, Caleb Hudson 23rd, Austin Holder, Jeffrey West to round out your top 25, and all 1 lap down. And the only car to go more than one lap down was Damien Kiefer, just completing what was 23 laps. But what a way to wrap up night number 1 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing.com and live on RaceSpotTV, live on the VLR Facebook page. We'll go trackside. We'll grab your race winner here tonight. Driving car number 33. It is Evan C. Evan, congratulations on this victory. So number 1 had a few, group number 1, I should say, had a couple of yellows involved in that one. Group number 2, you guys showed them how to get it done clean and green for 40 laps. Did you expect that one?
Not really. I expected to have some yellows, especially, like server 1 and, past VLR races have just had a lot of yellows in the UMP series. But, I mean, like everybody was, racing hard, but, not killing each other, it seemed like. So, definitely, it's nice to be able to run 40 straight there and not have any yellows.
What do you learn from that 40 straight laps? Because you guys got into lap traffic and almost changed the outcome of this race where Logan was able to get back by you, but it wasn't too long. Once he got by you, you got up on the wheel and, you really showed him how to get it done. What did you learn from that race here tonight?
I mean, definitely, try and find some things with the setup that we can tweak on. I mean, 100 lapper is a lot different. Everybody's going to set up a little bit different for 100 laps and a 40 lapper also. And I mean, the tracks, I'm sure are going to start close to fresh, I'd assume. And, but I mean, it was definitely, it was pretty good there. It's hard to tell if Logan was a whole lot better than me or not, but, he seemed pretty equal, but I mean, I knew he was going to be pretty fast. Edens was, pretty good in server 1. So, like I said, 100 laps is definitely going to be way different than, that race there. So we just have to prepare for that and, make some, see if we can get a little bit better.
Yeah, anything that you put your backside into, you're winning. You've just come off back-to-back World of Outlaws, Case Construction Late Model World Championships that iRacing put on. You've just picked up the VLR Spring Fling. What would it mean to you to pick up the VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy and walk away with another $4,000? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we're racing on a computer, but to pick up real cash, you picked up $10,000 from the World Championships. You picked up $6,000 from the Spring Fling. If you pick up $4,000, that's a total of $20,000 just from your room.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty awesome. But, we definitely, entered in this race to try and win. And, anything less than that is a little bit of a disappointment when you've set the bar pretty high, and so that's what we came here to do. But like I said, it's going to be a lot different than that 40 lapper there, and it's pretty much the only other 100 lap race a lot of us will do that has a big payday the whole year besides the fling. So it's going to be pretty interesting.
Well, Evan, we wish you the best of luck come Tuesday night in the main event of the VLR Spartan Transportation Fall Frenzy. Congratulations on this victory here in tonight, group number 2 server. Evan, before we let you go, a lot of sponsors on this race car, a lot of people behind the scenes to make this possible for you in the 33 car to get into victory lane tonight.
Yeah, just gotta thank everybody at Majority Speed Shop, CFME Sports. Had several cars make the top 12 in those servers, and they're going to be in the feature. So congrats to all of our guys that made it, and got to thank Tactory Defense, Sweet Victory Apparel, ShotForYou22.com, Captain Morgan, VLR, and thank y'all guys for broadcasting, and everybody helps put on this event for us, and all the sponsors that put up the money.
Evan, congratulations on the win. Good luck Tuesday night. We'll see you hopefully back on the podium on Tuesday night for a $4,000 payday.
Yep, thank you.
There we go, Evan C., your winner here from the dirt track at Charlotte, the virtual dirt track at Charlotte. Home in second place tonight. We'll send it over to Wes Goldney, who will catch up with Logan Rumsey.
Logan, you got a copy?
Yeah.
So, Logan, you just kind of played it safe there for a little bit, just stayed right there with Evan, and then you tried a couple different things. You get by him in lap traffic. What's going through your mind? You're thinking, all right, now we're in the clear, and then here comes the 33 again.
Yeah, we had a really good car there. We tested a lot for this race, just right around the middle like that. And we just got to second early there, and Evans, he's definitely the best on the dirt right now, so running right with him, your stuff's really good. And I think might have been a little bit better than him, just couldn't really... followed him for the whole race, just couldn't really do anything. The bottom of the track was too slick to pull a slider or anything. You kind of had to run right to the middle. And we got the lap traffic, and I got under him there, but then just couldn't slide him because the lap cars were in the way, but we'll take second.
Take us through the track changing a little bit. You mentioned there the middle was kind of the dominant line for y'all, but we saw people running the top, running the bottom. What was kind of happening behind the wheel of the 49?
Yeah, it just started off like low, middle, low, and then it just ended up right through the middle. It never really... The first server kind of went to the top, but this server never really went to the top. But we never had any yellows, though, so it's hard to tell if any other lines were coming in.
So you come home second tonight. What's it going to take to kind of get just one position better, or you're going to be starting outside row number 2? And then how different is 100 laps going to be on Tuesday?
We don't really have to change anything. We had a really good car there, but it just sucks. I wanted to be on the front row on Tuesday, but we'll take it. We'll just test for the 100 lapper and see what we can do.
Well, let's talk about all the people to help you get here.
Yes, everyone at Alpha Industries, James, JD, and that's about it. And also, you guys for broadcasting the race, and VLR for putting it up.
Best of luck to you on Tuesday night.
Thank you.
All right, Logan Rumsey comes home in second spot. We'll chat to the man that rounds out the podium. Home in third place tonight, driving the number 19 machine. That is Mike Augustine. Mike, congratulations on the third place finish here tonight. And, well, you lock yourself into the big one. That's a tick off the old bucket list. And, well, now the fun begins. You've now got 2 days to prepare for a $4,000 payday.
Yes, sir. It feels good. I'm happy I finally put a good race in for once. I finally qualified good, ran good in the heat race. Felt good in the feature. We just got to get a little bit better for Tuesday there. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy for putting a whole night together there.
Coming into tonight, again, the prelim night, you started off in group number 2. Did you watch group number 1? Were you watching the track at all throughout the course of that first group? And if you did that give you any indication on what this track was going to do here tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. The top wasn't really as good as it was in the first one, which I'm not really complaining about. I'd rather rip middle, but yeah, I mean that div that gave me a lot of hope of what to do in this one. I'm happy I was in server 2.
Now, of course, you just done 40 green flag laps. We now switch our attention to the main event on Tuesday night. It's going to be more than double that. It's going to be 100 laps. How do you get yourself mentally prepared? Because you've done a couple of 100 lap races before, but how do you get yourself prepared for 100 laps around the dirt track at Charlotte?
We just got to go in there and just race it. We don't got to the more we worry, the less I'll be able to do. So I'm just gonna go in there, do my race. We do good, we do good. We do bad, we do bad.
What would it mean to you to be crowned the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy main event winner? Should you get there on Tuesday night and claim that $4,000 paycheck?
That would be amazing. I've been tracking one of these VLR wins, and if I could pick it up in this crown jewel, it'd mean a lot to me. So I've been putting a lot of laps in this, and hopefully I can do that. I feel really good. Just got to put our nights together and just do our race.
Like, track changed from that first group. Like you said, that the top side wasn't as dominant. You said you like running the middle side. Is that where you're going to set yourself up for Tuesday night? Because I would assume, and I'm sure you're going to assume as well, that come the start of that main event on Tuesday night, it's going to be somewhat of a fresher racetrack.
Yeah, my plan is just to rip mid, bottom, and hopefully not have to run the top at all, really. I'm not much of a top guy anymore as I was, so yeah.
Mike, congratulations on third place. Good luck on Tuesday night in the VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy main event presented by Dirt Track Bank. Mike, before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 19 machine.
Yeah, thank you. I gotta thank everyone that put this event on. You guys for broadcasting. Dominator Designs, Dustin Hall, Team CFM Esports, Majula Say Speed Shop, Reckless Society, Cole Cabry, Chris, Blake, Evan, Spartan Transportation, WR1 Sims, and SweetVictory.com.
There we go. Mike Augustine home in third place to wrap up what has been the opening night of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy presented by Dirt Track Bank. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Wesley Goldie, Hugo Louis down in the production trailer. Wes, we've got our 24 starters, which means we've got 2 races left come Tuesday night. We've got our last chance qualifier and then our 100 lap main event. The field is set. It's set to be an awesome night come Tuesday.
Absolutely. We saw 2 very different races there. We saw a couple cautions in that first race, and then the green-white checkered finish that really set things up for a wild finish that ended up having Eden's and Majula's fall back to second and third, and Desmond Busby kind of spoiling their party. And in this one, we see a battle out front, 2 cars that were the class of the field with Rumsey and with C. Rumsey able to get by there on lap 35, but C never lost his cool, drove back around him, and now he'll roll off from the outside of the pole with Busby on the pole for Tuesday night. I expect a lot of craziness to happen in that LCQ. The racetrack changed quite a bit. It's crazy, like the same settings, and the track played out a little bit differently based on how they ran. So I'm interested to see when you add the fuel, when you add the tire wear, when it becomes a little more important than a 100 lapper, the balance of these race cars, and at this point, $4,000 on the line, anything can happen.
Well, we certainly hope that you come back on Tuesday. Wes, it's been a pleasure to share the booth with you for night number 1 of the VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy. Look forward to having you back on Tuesday night for the final night. But quickly, just before we wrap things up, again, a huge thank you to the title sponsor, Spartan Transportation, the presenting sponsor of Dirt Track Bank, our caution and replay, our replay sponsor, thanks to Cruise Pedregon Esports. Night number 1 sponsors for the groups, Majula C Speed Shop, and of course our individual race sponsors. I want to thank Speed Ranch Setups for the qualifying sponsorship, along with heats 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thanks to the Dirt Track at Charlotte. Yes, that's exactly where we are, at the virtual Dirt Track at Charlotte. Heat 5 brought to you by Plum Wild Podcast, and of course our B Mains brought to you by Logan Motorsports. Group 1 main event server was brought to you by Spartan Transportation. Group number 2 server, A-Main, brought to you by Stephen Whitaker Racing. I think group number 2 certainly takes the cake on that one when it comes to racing. We had 40 green flag laps, and of course, all our individual sponsors as well. I'm not going to go through all 100 of them, but thank you so very much. But that will wrap us up night number 1 of the 2023 VLR Spartan Transportation Full Frenzy, presented by Dirt Track Bank here on iRacing.com, live on RaceSpotTV. On behalf of Hugo Louis, Wesley Gwaltney, I'm Brett Wheeler, signing off here on the Sunday night. We'll see you back Tuesday night. Someone is going to walk away with $4,000.